Oh, behind us, our shad's going down. Oh, buddy, that whole shad got eat. That's a 10+ inch gizzard shad, and he is eating. Y'all, if you're coming fishing today, let's go, because me and you, we both running late. That sun, it's just popping up over the horizon back there. I was hoping to already be set up by now, but we're almost where I'm going. We're gonna run right down here in front of this bridge where this old creek channel dumps into the main river, and we're gonna throw out some big baits today, man. I've got two, probably 10+ inch gizzard shad in there. We're going to use live. I've also got a channel cat, a small channel cat, that at some point today we're going to put on live as well too. So we get them baits eaten, boy, we're in for a good time. So we're going to put those on the heavy tackle rods. Also, I've got some light tackle rods with me as well, and we're going to be using some smaller baits on those. So we're hopefully going to have a day of action and some big fish, and we've got just a beautiful, look at that back there. I mean, my face is ruining the shot right now, but that sunrise, man, looks freaking amazing. So it's gonna be an awesome day, y'all, but I'm almost down here where I'm going, and I'm gonna leave the camera running today. I'm gonna show you everything from right now where we're getting set up. I'm gonna show you how I'm getting set up on a spot, to baiting the hooks, to how long it takes to catch fish, etc. You're gonna see it all today. This is gonna be a trip for me, or I'm gonna be on the water for 3 or 4 hours, and I'm gonna leave the camera running the whole time. So you wanna come along on a real fishing trip today? Well, let's do it, folks. Let's catch us some fish. So I guess I should turn the camera back that way. Get the last glimpse of the sunrise while it's at its most beautiful. I can't turn around and look because I'm trying to steer where we're going here. But I want to get them baits on there, man. Them big gizzard shad right there, I want to put them thing on, man. I'm pumped up over that. Them some big gizzards in there. One of them for sure, first thing, we're going to be able to put on alive. Now the other one may die, depending on how long it takes to get that one eaten. Assuming we do, I think we will. But if that happens, then we'll use the one that dies as cut bait. And like I said, we got that channel cat in there too, that he's a perfect size channel cat for a live bait. He's probably in that 8 to 10 inch range himself. Maybe he may not even be that big. He may be 6 to 8 inch range. Either way, he's a good live bait size. So I'm gonna show you on the map here, the graph, the map card, how I'm going to be setting up. And I'm gonna slow us down right here. I've got an X right there. That's a waypoint marked where this old creek channel dumped out before. That's on the top of the drop. I want to get down here really on the bottom of the drop. And there's all kinds of bait stuff right there, but I want to get down on the bottom of the drop. Yesterday I fished and I was catching fish 70 feet deep. And I got several fish and got a couple good quality fish. So I want to get on the bottom of this drop, and we're going to sit here a little while, see what's happening at sunrise, as it is really coming up over there now. Just beautiful sight. I ain't got time to look at it though. One of us got to get some work done here, get us set up. Captain and first mate stuff going on here. But I'm going to put us out here on the bottom of this drop, and we'll see what's working up and down this channel and what maybe wants to work in and out of this creek here today. And we'll sit here a spell, and if it's working out, hell, we might sit here the whole trip. If it ain't working out, we're going to get on the move and we're going to drift down this bend here and go on down river. All right, right there's the old creek channel. Let me just steer out to the left a little bit. Moving us out to the left and get us further off the drop. I want it to be right there on the bottom of the drop, right where it starts to. Right where it starts to come up. One of the challenges is steering this kayak right now. Actually, that may be. Move us back to the left just a little bit. One of the challenges right now of steering this kayak, even with the motors, I have all this weight here from the bait bucket, and it makes it a challenge. The kayak wants to go all over the place when you're running. You can't hardly go in a straight line with this daggone thing. I see that start to come up. I'm gonna hit the spot lock, and we're gonna depth starting now 53.2. Yeah, coming up 52, 51. I want to be. You're not going to really see it because I hit the button as we're starting to come up. But right here, it goes up at a steep angle up onto the top of that old creek mouth and then levels out. So in these situations, I like to either fish the top of it or the bottom of it. And I want to be down here on the bottom of it to start, because yesterday I was catching all them fish 69, 70 feet deep on downriver. So I want to be at the deeper parts here first thing. But what I want to do right now is I want to get this big gizzard shad on. I'm seeing some stuff right there, man. We're going to have to move out a little bit. Once the kayak settles, there should be a little bit of current this morning. Just a smidge, not much. There should be a little bit. Let's get this thing. We're gonna come out a nostril there if I can work it through. There we go. And I'm gonna take, this is a double hook rig. I'm gonna take this second hook. These are 10-aught size circle hooks. I'm just gonna run it through the, actually I wanna go further on back than that. Get back down here in his tail a little bit. There we go. So we got 2 hooks in that thing right there, man. He is going to catch us a monster today. I just know it. I want to wait just a second before we're going to cast him out. And I kind of want to wait just a second to do it until the kayak settles. The current is very light. I want to throw him kind of on, I want to go out this side with him so that he's on the edge of that drop. I'm just waiting on the kayak to, because the current's so light, it's taking a second here to spin us around into the current. The current's coming this way. All right, I'm impatient. Let's just do it. We're going to cast him out. He's going to be on bottom. Meanwhile, we're going to suspend our front rods, which are going to be the lighter tackle. And I hope that other gizzard shad stays alive in the bucket. All right, we got our big bait out there, folks. Y'all grab that rod today. If you see that thing go down, you grab that thing. I'm gonna put our net on this side, keep it out of the way. But I'm hoping having that bait cast out behind us will keep us from getting tangles and whatnot with our other 2 rods, because we're going to have the lighter tackle stuff, which is going to make it more difficult to control fish that we hook. And bear with me here, folks. We're running late getting out here. It took me too long today to get on the move, but I'm going to start with this bluegill. He's good and fresh. This will be our light tackle set up here to start, and I've got some more shad in the cooler there. So we're going to use a little bit smaller baits here to start, and if we cut up that gizzard shad, we'll have bigger baits, and we will put that on the light tackle too. Yesterday was kind of it was interesting. I caught most of the fish yesterday on light tackle. It was probably 5 or 6 to 1, the ratio. But I caught my biggest fish on my big bait, which was a whole probably 8-inch gizzard shad. And then my second biggest fish I caught on just a little quarter size piece. So it was it wasn't like you could pattern something and say, well, the big fish wanted the biggest baits or vice versa. You know, you couldn't really pattern it, but there definitely was a clear preference for the lighter tackle setup. I mean, that caught all but 2 of the fish yesterday. So we got that out. Let me show you the rig here. I'm talking along and ain't showing you the important stuff. We're working on 2 different hooks right now. That other hook was a wide gap finesse hook, 2-aught size. This one is a 3-aught size mosquito hook. My light tackle rigs here are 15-pound fluorocarbon leaders with a little 2-ounce sinker up top. Got basically a Carolina rig here. And these lighter tackle rods, these are ugly sticks. They are inshore rods, so they're kind of like bass, basically a bass rod, a medium heavy bass rod. It's kind of comparable. Very light compared to a normal catfish rod. So once the kayak is settled here, hell, you all didn't hit the dang button. We're 56 feet and we're drifting backwards here. What's going on? We didn't hit the spot lock. I thought we hit the spot lock. Dadgummit. Well, let's get us set back up over here. I'm seeing a lot of stuff. We're going to just work a little bit to the left. We've drifted back over the top of our gizzard shad back over here. Boy, y'all batting 1,000 this morning. We late getting out here. I've missed the sunrise trying to get us set up, and now we apparently can't even push the dang spot lock button. This is why I shouldn't do these uncut videos, folks. Y'all see what a cluster I really am. It's oftentimes a doo-doo show, if you know what I mean, but I have a lot of fun doing it, and I oftentimes get it done in the end. We end up catching some fish. If you're seeing this, it means we caught some fish today. I wouldn't make you sit through a skunk video. That's for dang sure. Let's move us over just a little bit more to this ledge. I want right where it starts to come up. I want to be right on that break line. That's what a break line is. It's a rapid increase or decrease in the depth. And oftentimes when these catfish, when they're working up and down the ledges and whatnot, they will follow those edges. Not all the time, but a lot of the fish will. Okay, right here. Let's set up right there. It's starting to come up now. 54 was 53.9, and I'm still seeing some fish right there. So I think our back line there, it looks tight. So I think we're going to be okay, not having to reel it in and cast back out. Our front baits here will settle in a minute. I may have to redo those as far as like getting them. I just want them just off the bottom. So we'll see what depth we settle out at here. But you can see here on the map, you see where that old creek channel cut through and then dumped off here into the river. When you look around out here beside us, it looks like we're out and just in the middle of the river right now. And we kind of are now, but back in the day before they made the reservoirs, this would have been kind of, a much smaller river channel with this creek dumping into it here. Now, once they built the reservoirs, or built the hydroelectric dams, a lot of what was dry ground got flooded. The water level come up. So now, just based on the land, it looks like the creek channel comes out over there under that bridge, right? If you're just looking at it by the naked eye. But in reality, that old deep cut channel come all the way out to right up here in front of us where we were at before it come off into the river. So, that's where having a map card and, this is a basic graph here. This is a little $200 graph that I've had for, 7 or 8 years now. But it's functional for us because we can see the map card. We can see where things should be on the card, right? And this card's pretty accurate. It's a Navionics chip. It's pretty accurate for where I fish. It's not always accurate for every body of water, though. For instance, I went to the Ohio River a couple years back. That card, useless up there. I mean, absolutely useless. But in my area, it is pretty accurate. So I will use it to kind of see where I need to be. Then I will use the actual graph, the depth here, to confirm where I think I am. So like, I get us here in front of this, and then I start looking for that depth to come up on the ledge, and then I hit the spot lock. Now, that's because I'm hitting spot lock because I'm in this kayak with the motor today. Regular viewers, you've seen me use a regular anchor as well, depending on what kayak I'm in. If I was in a kayak that I needed an anchor, I would do the same thing, but just drop an anchor instead of hitting a button here on the motor. So that's how I'm going about setting up. We're going to put in a little time here, probably 30 minutes, give or take. And I want to see what all's going on here in this area, if anything. And if we're getting bit, like I said, I'll sit on a spot all day. Well, I'm not going to sit out here all day, but in theory, I would sit on a spot all day if I'm catching fish. If I'm not, then what we're going to do is we'll come off spot lock and we'll start our drift, and we'll just work down this channel. We'll follow that edge, and we'll follow it. The river, it goes down and kind of turns here, and we'll follow around the bend, just kind of drifting if there's enough current to allow. And if not, we may have to troll just to kind of supplement our speed, but we'll do that. And then if we come across some fish, we'll hit the spot lock again, set on them. There's some spots down through here. There's a point over there we may end up anchoring on, another deep hole downriver we may end up anchoring on. So, you know, we'll let the fish tell us what we need to do today, but I'm gonna put y'all on the chest here. I'm gonna get cutting board cleaned up, get that out of our way. And we're gonna sit back and relax and wait on some catfish to bite. It's one of the perks of catfishing. Once you get everything set up, it's kind of set it and forget it, bait and wait. You can just kick back and relax and just enjoy the morning if the pleasure boaters and bass boaters will allow. And I'm filming this out here on a Wednesday, so hopefully today won't be too terrible as far as boat traffic goes, but you never know. This body of water here I'm on, this is Fort Loudon Reservoir. I don't fish here much during the warm months because of the pleasure boaters. During the summer months, it's houseboat, jet ski, wakeboarders, all day, every day, all summer long. But you know how we're getting out here now, the time of year where a lot of that starts to taper off, especially on these weekday mornings. So come out yesterday and fished and had a very productive trip. Yesterday was my first time fishing Fort Loudon in months. So I had a productive trip, and I'm hoping the same thing today. Thought about going back to the same spot, but it was going to take longer to get there, and I was already running a little bit behind. So I kind of wanted to see what's going on here in front of this creek. But I want to play with the light tackle stuff some more. I've been super into it lately. It's been a lot of fun. Still working on figuring out kind of the best hook to use, the setup. I'm comfortable with the 15-pound leaders. I've only lost to this point one fish from breaking off, and that was I didn't have a net with me that day. I grabbed the line and he thrashed and snapped it. But with the net, I'm feeling like that's not going to be as big an issue. The main thing with there's 2 points of consideration with the light line. One is I'm using thinner wire hooks. So you need the lighter line, because if I was using heavier line, I couldn't thread it through the hook eye. It just won't fit. The other thing with it is I want the lighter line, because if you use, I mean, in theory, you know, braid is so, the diameter is so small on braid, you could just go straight braid to the hook and use much heavier line. But if you do that, you get a little excited over a big fish. Next thing you know, you're cranking that drag down, you're trying to horse it in, and you're going to straighten out them light wire hooks. So the lighter line kind of at least mentally forces me to take my time with bigger fish, and is less likely to cause me to straighten out a hook. The line would probably break before I straighten out the hook. Now, as far as you might say, Justin, why use the lighter wire hooks on these light tackle setups? And the main reason for that is because of the amount of give in the rods and the kayak. So these light tackle rods, the tip is obviously very soft, so it don't take a very big fish at all to just double these rods over. So you've got between the give in the rod, then when I lean over in the kayak to grab the rod, I'm taking some pressure off the fish. In that situation too, I need a thinner wire hook to ensure that I'm going to be able to stick it. If you're using a thicker gauge wire, like my hooks there on the heavier rig that we got the big gizzard chat on, those are 10-aught size hooks, and they're a lot thicker wire. It takes more pressure to stick a fish, at least get it deep enough that you're going to have the barb in the fish's mouth. It takes a lot more pressure to do that. And that's just, it's tougher to do with the lighter action rods and the kayak leaning, when I go to lean. So I'm trying out these different hooks. We've got on the left rod, it's the 2-aught size wide gap finesse. It's a Gamakatsu hook. And the other one is a mosquito hook, 3-aught size. Let me see if I've got, these are, okay, right here. I don't know if you can see that or not with the glare. So this is the one on the left rod, a Gamakatsu finesse wide gap. And the mosquito hook is a Owner brand, black chrome. So, I'm playing around with some different kind of hooks. In recent videos, I've used the shiner hooks, and I like those okay. Let me see, I've got some, I had some circle hooks too. I may have took them out. I had some circle hooks too, some mustads. And I didn't really care for the circle. I like circle hooks for my heavy tackle setups, because my rods are stiff enough and I'm going after big fish, so you're going to have the extra pressure to set those hooks. With the lighter tackle stuff, I want something that was a big buffalo come up right there in front of us. Did y'all see that? I want a hook I can just jerk it, set the hook. You can't do that with circle hooks. You got to just kind of reel down the pressure. The fish swimming off will set the hook. If you pull a circle hook, you just pull it right out of the mouth. It has to turn in there. So I want something that I can set, because, if a fish just slams one of these rods and buries it on one of these type of hooks, that's fine. It'll set the hook on itself. Boy, right here behind it, there was another splash right over there. That thing come up right behind us. Was that a buffalo? I don't know what the hell that was. I turned to go here and the other one jumped up. They're taunting us, man. But, hell, I lost my train of thought now. I was talking about setting the hook. So like I say, if a fish buries the rod with either one of these hooks, it's going to set it on itself. Great. But if it don't, if you've got a flathead that comes up and eats the bait and sets there with it, or if you've got a fish that hits it, and this happened yesterday twice, a fish ate the bait and then come up in the water column. And so it's just got the bait and the hook, everything in its mouth, but there's no pressure on it at all. Like, I want something that I can just rear back on and set that hook. So yesterday I had, and granted, small sample size, one day, but I had better success with the mosquito hook. Now, yesterday I used the mosquito hook with the body sections and the wide gap hook with the head baits. Today, I've mixed that up. So the wide gap hook over here has the body section, and we got a head bait on this one. I don't know if that'll make a difference or not, but I wanted to try them both ways and give it a little time to see before making a final decision. And I may end up trying some more hooks too. I'm not married to any one kind of hook. We're going to try to dial this in and figure out what the best setup is. The leader line I'm comfortable with. It's 15-pound fluoro. I've got a bunch of it, so that's one reason. But it fits the hooks good. It's lighter, but it's enough. It gives me enough leeway if we do hook a 50, 60 pounder. I can take my time with it and hopefully wrangle it in. It's not like something we're going to instantly snap. Now, if that light line, if it's rubbing on their tooth patch, and that's all dependent upon how they eat the bait. My big fish yesterday with the light tackle, the hook got him kind of on the outside of the mouth, so the line never touched the inside. But sometimes fish might eat it a little deeper. And then as you fight it and it thrashes and rolls as blue cats do, it's rubbing that sandpaper-like texture in their mouth over that line. So definitely got to pay more attention to leaders. My normal heavy action setups, like we got here with the gizzard shad, I never check those leaders. I'll run them things for a month or more, basically until I break off. I never check them because I got 80-pound leader line. Those can take a lot of abuse. With the lighter tackle stuff, I'm checking. Oh, right here, we got one. That's on the head, that bluegill head. Fish number one. We're a few minutes in. He's going to be a small. That's all right. It's number one, man. This is one of those fish right here that if we were running all heavy rigs today, he would have come up and chewed up our bait, but he would have probably never got hooked. We're not going to use a net on him. I think I can just get hold of him over here. No issues with this line. Well, Blue Kitty, you're setting the bar low for any future fish this morning. You got anything to say for yourself? You got any sponsors you want to plug? Anybody you want to thank their fish? Nothing. Maybe someday. Maybe one of y'all sponsor that fish. All right, well, let's get something out of our bag. Let me get my shad bag here. Let's see what all we've got. All this stuff here is, we're going to dump this after the trip today, so we're going to try to go through as much of this stuff as possible. We'll put another head bait on though. We'll use one of these smaller gizzard shad heads. Alright, down it goes. We got the first one out of the way, fish number one. A few minutes in. We'll send this down. I'm going to let that sinker hit bottom, and then I'm going to reel the rod tip down to the water surface, and then just raise it up and set it in the rod holder. So now we know it's kind of just off the bottom. Let's put our shad back up now. All right, man, fish number one. Yeah, that fish there, as small as he was, he would still come up after our larger baits if we had all heavy tackle rigs out using big baits. But he wouldn't be eating it. He would just be coming up and nipping, taking bites. And then you see that a lot when I'm using the heavier tackle. Like your rods will get hit and go down. It's those small fish pulling. But with the smaller baits and smaller hooks, they can actually eat them, and then therefore we get more catches that way. And I like catching fish. And that fish there too, even though he's smaller fish, on the lighter tackle, still enjoyable to catch. So, like I said, I'm into this light tackle stuff. It may be a fad with me, but right now I'm super into it. I'm excited about it. If the day comes we hook into an absolute monster and I lose it, I may get me a different opinion on this stuff. That happened a few years ago. I think I told that story in a recent video, but I may tell a Cliff's Notes version again. I had a light tackle rod out, I was drifting, and I had a heavier tackle out too. And I had a huge fish hit the light tackle rod, and I'm fighting it. And a second rod goes down on the heavier action, and it's another huge fish. I'm hooked up with two huge fish at the same time. While I get excited, and I'm horsing the one on the light tackle and break him off. Thankfully, I land the one on heavy tackle, and it was a beast. But that kind of jaded me a little bit from the light tackle catfishing, and I ain't done much of it since. Because that's the fear, you know. That's the day you hook into that 100-pound class fish, and it's on 15-pound line, and you lose it. Once in a lifetime fish. Whereas if you hook him on your regular tackle, you may still lose him, but it ain't going to be because of gear. But it's definitely more of a sporting way to fish. It gives the fish a fighting chance. It's kind of like when I ultralight fish and I use 2-pound line. I'm giving the fish a chance to get away. And there is some fun to that. It gives it a little extra, I don't know, adrenaline, I guess, while you're fighting the fish, that there's more that could go wrong. Lord, we got a couple kayakers here coming. You know I don't like talking around people. Tell them to go on. And I don't want any of y'all waving at them either, because then that's going to invite conversation. And the wind has turned us toward this bridge. It's offsetting the current, so we're facing right at them as they go by. I don't want to talk to nobody today. I'll talk to y'all, but I don't want to talk to like actual humans in person. I ain't got it in me today. I just want to sit out here and catch fish and be left the hell alone. The only people I want to see is them people in the cars over the bridge. Traffic's backed up, something terrible up there. It's crawling. As it's time for people to be going to work. People with real jobs anyway. People used to laugh at me and stuff. It happened occasionally back when I'd be driving my car with a kayak trailer behind it. I still got my car, but I got a truck now too. And but when I would have my car, it was a little Honda Fit, a little compact car, towing a jet ski trailer and kayak. Sometimes I'd pull up to a red light, and there'd be some redneck hillbilly over there. You'd see him look over and laugh, or maybe make some gesture or something. They're having a good time at my expense or whatever. But really, the one laughing in that situation was me. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, well, dumbass, you sitting there in your big truck that you can't afford, that the payment on that thing's soaking up all your freedom because you're having to work all the damn time to pay for it. And I was sitting there in a paid-for car on my way to go fishing while that dumbass was going to work. So that's how I always looked at it. So they thought they were laughing at me, but really I was laughing at them. You shouldn't be like that toward people. I know I shouldn't be, but I am. I'm petty like that. I'm spiteful like that. But we out here today enjoying the life, watching all these cars go by on their way to work or to drop their children off at school. I hope the day comes that the school system changes. Because I live near a school, and during the school year, when it's going to school time and leaving school time, traffic on my road backs up. And you can't hardly get up and down my road for 30 minutes in the morning while they're going to school. And then in the afternoon, it's usually 30 minutes to an hour because parents start lining up to get their kids well before time school gets out. So, you get 10 or 15 parents out there way too early, then they're backed up down to the road and everything just backs up. And so the summer months when school's out, it's so much better in my neighborhood. Like, it's so much better. You can actually get up and down my road to my house without having to do like James Bond type stuff to go around the line of cars, go in the other lane. And I hope the day comes that they'll change the school system, because it's antiquated. Let's be real, y'all. I know there's probably some school teachers that watch my channel here and listen to me ramble on about crap I have no business talking about. But let's be real. The school system, the current modern day school system, when it was created, society was different, man. Back in those days, we were an industrial society. We were creating factory workers. So we were training kids from the time they started kindergarten to the time they graduated high school. We were training them to be factory workers. Get up every day, do the same routine 5 days a week, enjoy your 2-day off weekend. Like, that's what we were, aside from the education part of things, we were molding people from 5 years old on up. We were molding people to get in the routine of being a factory worker. But in modern day society, there's hardly any more factories in America. All those jobs have moved overseas. But yet we're still training students for this Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And those jobs, more and more, just don't exist. So why are we continuing to mold people for the lifestyle they're not going to have once they graduate? Second thing on that is, look at what we're teaching these kids. Now, when I was going to school, and granted, I'm long in the tooth here, so it's been a long time since I was in grade school and high school and stuff. Maybe some of the curriculums changed, but back in my day, it was a lot of memorization of crap that, quite honestly, just didn't need to be remembered. You would memorize, you would go to class and lecture, you'd read, and the goal of memorizing stuff for a test that you would quickly forget. And look, back in those days, maybe you did need to remember a few more things, okay? I remember, like, in math class, we'd have the multiplication tables. And you'd have to do, like, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4, and memorize all that crap, right? And your teacher would say, well, you know what? When you get older, when you grow up, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket to do this. You need to be able to do this math in your head. Well, guess what, teacher lady? Nowadays, look right here. You see this cell phone? It's got a calculator on it. Everybody in America these days, even these little 5-year-old kids going to kindergarten today, they've got a damn cell phone with a calculator on it, right here in our pocket. Some people got the fancy watches calculator. I mean, I don't remember how old I was, but I had me one of them calculator watches. Remember them when them were the style? As kids, you'd be going through the checkout line at Walmart, and right there above the candy bars, they would have them, the Casio watches with the calculator. They had them all the way back then, but now literally everybody has a calculator in their pocket on their cell phone. So you don't need to memorize all that crap. Same thing with random history stuff and science stuff. It's like, everything, any information that we want or need is at our fingertips on our phone with Google or Chat GPT, man. Just ask a question and you can get the answer in a few seconds. So why waste a bunch of time memorizing things that just aren't pertinent? And it's like our youth is the best years of our life, man. We'll never have more energy than what we had when we were kids and teenagers. And it's like, instead of, I'm on a damn soapbox right now. We're doing a sermon here. I ain't even got no kids, but I'm telling y'all how you ought to raise them. But it's like, instead of sending these kids to school and making them waste all day memorizing crap they have no interest in, and basically just beating the life out of them from a young age, why not just let them be? Sure, they have to learn some stuff, right? Like, there's basic skills you need in life. You do need some basic arithmetic, right? Like, you need to know how to count your money. You don't need fancy, unless you're going to be some scientist, you don't need to know all this fancy calculus and whatnot. But everybody needs to know how to count their money, balance a checkbook. Everybody needs to know how to read. Everybody needs to know, you need to know how to write, even though nowadays most things are typed, but you need proper grammar. These kids today, hell, they spend all damn day in school and they type in emojis. I don't even know what the hell they're saying. I mean, you get on social media and you read some stuff, it's damn word salad. There ain't no punctuation, no nothing, no commas, no periods, no exclamation points. It's just a bunch of words put together. It makes no damn sense. So they need to know basic stuff like that. But after that, do you really need to know calculus? Algebra? No. Most people don't. And listen, if you're a kid, if you're somebody out there and you got a kid, and your kid shows an interest in math and has an aptitude for it, well, then sure, in those situations, there should be programs that you could send your kid to so that he or she could pursue their interest in math. But forcing everybody to go to it when only a small percentage of those kids are going to be having a natural aptitude to, because look, I mean, you could take a whole classroom full of kids. What's the average classroom now? 30 kids, somewhere thereabouts? You can teach them all algebra and calculus. And most of them will do it good enough to pass the class, pass the test. But how many of them's going to be able to use that in a job or in adult life? Most of them won't. And maybe the one or two of them who have the potential to do that or do some kind of job where that education will benefit them in the career, hell, they're getting held back. Because the teacher can only teach to the level, really, of the dumbest student, right? So, meanwhile, maybe your son or daughter who is naturally gifted at math, they're being held back in that situation because the teacher can't progress through what they know. They have to dumb it down. So why not just remove that from the curriculum, like as far as mandatory curriculum, and just keep it for the 2% of kids who could possibly benefit from it or who are interested in it. And then that would allow them to get more from it because it would be taught at their pace, which would allow them to get better and move on. And then all the other kids, the other 98%, who either aren't naturally gifted at math or have no interest in it, yeah, sure, again, they need basic arithmetic. They need to be able to balance a checkbook. But let them spend their time, instead of spending their hour, 5 hours a week, whatever, in calculus class, and then God knows how much longer after school trying to do a good enough job to pass a test. Let them put their time into something that they are interested in. You know, like, I mean, it's just, I'll look back just at my own life. How much time I wasted elementary school, middle school, high school, and even into college on classes that do not matter. Even in college, man, I went to nursing school. I was a nurse before this YouTube crap took off. Like, even with that, there's your nursing curriculum that was important, that I obviously needed to have to be able to function at the job. But in order to get my degree, in order to graduate, you know how many classes I had to take that were completely irrelevant to the nursing program? I mean, most of my college experience was crap that was a complete waste of time. I mean, I had to take a math class, like probability and statistics or something, completely unrelated to what I was doing. The worst of it all, I went to Lincoln Memorial University, which is like it's a smaller private school. Basically, if you can pay the bill, they're going to let you in. And, you know, my grades, I needed a school like that to be able to get into the nursing program. Because the community college nursing programs, man, you'd be on an alternate list 7 miles long. There was no way I was getting in with my grades. So, you know, I had to go to a small private school that would, hold on, we got a fish. We had something there. We had something nipping right there. He thought better of it. But anyway, I had to do that to get into the program. But once I got in, Lincoln Memorial makes you take a class because it's the college is based on Abraham Lincoln. It's Lincoln Memorial University, hence the name. But I had to take a class about Abraham Lincoln. What a waste of time that was. Totally unrelated to the nursing curriculum. But I had to take it. And look, I'm not saying don't offer those classes. If someone's interested in Abraham Lincoln, make it an option for them. But we just waste so much damn time on stuff that don't matter. And that time could be so much better used learning a trade, a skill, taking another class that's going to go towards something you want to do. Like, it's such a waste of time. We waste so much time. So I say all of that to just talk about how antiquated the education system is nowadays. It's awful. And we wonder why America, every time you see these studies and statistics come out, like America has fallen behind the world. You know, we're supposed to be number one in the world in smart people in education, but now we're 50th something or whatever. I don't know what number we actually are, but you know what I'm talking about. Every time these things come out on TV set, we're way on down on the list in math and science and everything. You know why? Because of what I just told you. Because kids are forced to do crap that they have no interest in and they're never going to be good at. I mean, look, I'm a fairly intelligent person, okay? I can balance my checkbook. I'm good enough at math, I can balance my checkbook. But I don't care how much time you make me sit in a calculus class. I'm never going to be good at it, okay? Can I get good enough at it to pass the class? Sure. And I think most anybody can. If you put enough time into something, you can get good enough at it to squeak by the class. But why? I don't care how much time I spend at it, I'm never going to be good enough at it to be able to use it for anything in real life or for a job or skill. Like, and I don't have any interest in it. So why make me or anybody else do that as part of the curriculum? But I tell you, man, you look at all these programs and it's like, they all have classes like that. They're almost like weeding out classes in a sense. Like a lot of nursing programs, unfortunately, Lincoln Memorial didn't require it, thank goodness, but they're one of the few who don't. But a lot of them require a chemistry class. What the hell does chemistry have to do with nursing? I mean, seriously, what the hell does that have to do with me taking care of people in the hospital? Nothing. Nothing. But yet you have to take it. But it's one of those classes that would weed a lot of people out. You go in there and you take those are prerequisite classes, and you get a C in that class. You pass. That brings down your GPA. Now you don't get into the nursing program. So it weeds a lot of the people out. It's stupid stuff like that, man. So anyway, I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but a lot of these kids over here that's in these cars going on their way to school this morning, poor kids ain't got a damn chance in hell. Wasting their lives away. And I don't know, I mean, the one thing about school in its current existence, the one thing about it that it does do is it gives kids social interaction. So you obviously, and I'm as antisocial as they come, but you do need some socialization amongst people. So I don't know, maybe you keep the education system as it is through like 5th grade, maybe through middle school. I mean, an 8th grader ought to know how to balance a checkbook. An 8th grader ought to be able to do enough math to balance a checkbook, and they ought to be able to read and write at a level that's enough to function in society. So how old are you in 8th grade? I don't even remember, honestly. 12, 13 years old, probably. So maybe you cut off the normal education. Get rid of high school. Get rid of the high school as we currently know it, and create program. Like by 8th grade, you should know if somebody is gifted in math, or they're really interested in science, or whatever, and kind of funnel those kids into what they're either interested in or what they're good at, or have other options too, man. Like, when I was in high school, it was kind of frowned upon for the vocational programs. Like, you were considered stupid if you were doing some of the vocational stuff. But who's stupid now? All them kids that went to college, got their fancy college degree, and they're over here working as a barista at the Starbucks for $12 an hour. Meanwhile, the stupid kids who went to the vocational program and learned how to weld, learned how to be a carpenter or something, they're making a damn nice living working for themselves. Who's the dummy now? But have more programs like that for kids, so that when they graduate and they hit 18, whatever, they come out with some kind of skill. I mean, think about this. And I'm continuing this soapbox rant. Right now, you graduate high school, you come out with your high school diploma, which is worthless. You can wipe your ass with that thing. It ain't worth the paper it's written on. But you got that high school diploma. You have no skills. None. You could take those 4 years that people are spending in high school, and man, if a kid was really into carpentry, if a kid was into welding or electrical work, hell, I don't know, electrician, plumber, what, you could have people, I mean, you could essentially have these kids at 18 years old ready for the workforce. Real jobs that matter and will continue to matter. I don't give a damn about this AI stuff, technology, all that. You're always going to need electricians. You're always going to need plumbers, because you know what? People crap. They flush toilets. Technology ain't never going to create a way that humans don't crap. And if people are crapping in toilets, then pipes are going to get clogged. Septic tanks are going to need pumped. So plumbers are always going to be needed, because computers can't fix pipes. All right, they can't do it. Plumbers are going to be an essential part of the workforce till the end of humanity. Same with electricians. Same with carpenters. A computer can't build a porch on your house. Okay, so teach people those skills. And then they come out at 18. They have functional skills that the state has paid for, because high school, I mean, unless you're going to some private school, I mean, all that's, your public education's paid for. It's not till college that these kids come out at 18 years old and now they're $50,000 in debt year one, that they spend the rest of their life trying to dig out of the hole. Let them come out at age 18, ready to work with no debt. Man, we'd have such a better society. Imagine how much better life would be for everybody if everybody had a skill and everybody was debt-free coming out of school. What a different world. But instead, you know, my generation growing up was told, well, you need that college degree. If you want to move up in the world, if you want to have any chance at a good life and a good job, you got to have that college degree. So we were sold on that. And how many people now, my age, in their 40s, are saddled with thousands and thousands of dollars in student loan debt, with no hope of paying it off, because the dream they were sold don't matter for crap. That college degree in the fine arts don't matter for anything. Nobody wants it. Unless you come out of college with a skill. You know, my situation in nursing school, like, I had to go to college and graduate to be able to take the licensure exam. You have to be a college graduate to take boards. Or like they had these nursing diploma programs. LPN is still like that, but RNs, they used to have more diploma programs. They kind of got away from those because they realized they could fleece people out of more money, make them go to college. But either way, like, to take, big takedown. Oh, he dropped it. I'm fiddling with the camera and he dropped it. Let me see if he got her bait. He hit it pretty hard. The bait's still on there. He didn't get it. All right, let's send it back down. We're going to get on the move here in a little bit if we don't get on them. I wanted to give this spot a little time right here at sunrise, but thus far it ain't panning out. But yeah, college, if there's something you're wanting to do that requires a college degree to be able to get the licensure for it. In my situation, nursing, I had to go to college to be able to take boards, get a license. Lawyers that way, doctors are like that. Some programs, things like that, like, you have to do that. But for everybody else, why pay? I mean, Google, YouTube, you can learn anything you want to learn. You don't have to go, if you're interested in one of the humanities or fine arts or any of that crap, you don't have to go to college to get that education. You can do that in your spare time, watch lectures on YouTube. You don't need to go pay $1,000 credit hour at some college. Do it in your spare time. Because that degree ain't going to get you nowhere unless you want to teach in it. But boy, I mean, in order to be able to teach in college, you're going to have to go all the way up, get a PhD and whatever ancient history that you're interested in. So boy, now you've took on a lot of debt in hopes of getting one of the few jobs at one of these universities that are probably going to be slimming down in the coming years, as I think more people get on board with the fact that these colleges are a scam. And when you have less people going to college, then budgets get cut and a lot of them jobs get cut. And then so now you've got $100,000 in debt and you got your PhD that's in some, I don't know, Aztec prehistoric history class, and it's useless for the rest of the world. Like, that's the one thing you can do is teach about what you know, and when that job goes away, you're over here at the Starbucks serving coffee for $12 an hour. The same job you could have had without a high school. I mean, that's what high schoolers are doing. You got 16-year-olds over here doing that job without a high school diploma. And you got people now going to have PhDs doing the same damn thing because there's no work for them. And nobody's going to give them any kind of administrative management job because what? You read a bunch of books on prehistoric Aztec Indians or something? Nobody gives a shit. So, you know, it pisses me off when I get to thinking about it. But it's just what we've been trained to do, man. It's society. It's the way we have been molded from the time I was born. And generations before me, it's like it's what you do. 5 years old, you go to school. Do that till you're 18. Get out. Society's done with you. You know, at that point, 18, you're on your own. Go learn a skill, go to college. Meanwhile, they've taught you nothing important in school. Nobody taught me how to balance a checkbook in school. Nobody taught me about these predatory credit card companies and whatnot. They don't teach you about that kind of stuff. They teach you useless facts that you're having to, or gizzard shad. Or gizzard shad, folks. I'm gonna let it eat him, man. That's a big bait. Got 2 hooks. Let's see if we can get him to eat it. He's got it now. He's got it now. Oh, he's swimming up here beside us too. Well, I'm glad y'all didn't talk me into leaving this spot. Oh, he's gonna pull. Oh, buddy. That big gizzard got ate. I thought if we put enough time into this creek mouth right here, something would come along to eat that thing. Anytime them big baits go down, man, that's exciting. I don't think he's going to be all that big, though. I mean, he's pulling. But for the size of the fish I was hoping to catch on that bait, I don't think he's gonna get there for me. It's a flathead though. All right, well, it's a flathead. He got that bottom hook too. All right, we got us a flatty. I'll take that. I was hoping to get a flathead yesterday and never did. We got us one today. He ain't all that big though. I'm glad he come along, but I wish he had ate one of our small baits up here. That gizzard shad's gone too, obviously. He's probably knocked it off the hook, truth be told. Know what we're gonna do though? We're gonna throw that other one on because he's still alive. He's still alive in that bucket, so we'll use him. I kind of do. Let me get rid of this flathead here, and we're gonna make a decision on something. Come on up in here, Flatty. Well, you done got that hook buried in there, don't you? Oh, there goes that rod. There goes that rod. Here, well, set your flathead down there a minute, folks. That one's pulling, buddy. Maybe we finally got some fish working through. All right. Oh, Oh, here he goes. I had a flathead in the hand and this rod goes down. Well, if y'all's a fishing partner worth a damn, you'd grabbed one of them. All right, this took a while, but we got it going on now. I was able to go through a whole sermon on the educational system in between fish. This one's pulling, buddy. This one's pulling now. This one's a fight. This is a better fight than the flathead. Part of which because it's on the lighter tackle. There he goes again. This is our gizzard shad head. We're gonna switch that other piece of bluegill out over there and put some gizzard shad on when we drop back down. Hopefully we can get this thing up here. I think it's gonna be a blue. I'm seeing the bubbles come up here behind us. There's some more bubbles coming up right over there. Oh, gizzard shad head. Yeah, it's a fun sizer right there. It's a blue cat. All right, now it's took a while. We got us a flathead in the floor and a blue cat on the line. Well, let's get rid of our flathead here first. Let me, y'all bear with me a second. You're all unprepared. We was late getting out here and I didn't set up the front camera mount. Let me grab it. Grab that camera mount and we'll set it up. I'm gonna show you the flathead. Boy, the day just got better, y'all. The day just got a lot better. Let me fix that thing. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Oh, come here, Flatty. We're actually facing the sun too. We can get some pictures of that thing. Nice, man. All right. Well, let's let him go. We'll see you, Flatty. There you go. Ate our gizzard shad now. Let's bust out the net over here. I bet you they're kind of coming through together right there. They hit so quick together. Nice. Oh, fun size blue. Oh, buddy. Yes, y'all, finally. Like I said, we on a real fishing trip today, man. Sometimes the bite's on from the start and sometimes you gotta wait. I was just thinking about, as I was reeling in that flathead, maybe we make a run, either start a drift or run down to that other hole where I was catching them at yesterday, but now I'm thinking we just sit here a while. See what else comes through. There he is. Fun sizer and length, kind of skinny. He's about to flop. I'm gonna get him on out of here. Go on now. All right. Business picked up, y'all. Let's get you all back in the chest. We're gonna put our other gizzard shad, while he's still alive, we're gonna put him on. I had thought if he died, we would use him as cut bait and put, where's my net at? We'd put that channel cat on, but since he's still alive, we'll throw him out to our hole, try to get him eat, and then we'll put the channel cat on. Where's he at? Come here, gizzard. There you are. He's looking kind of rough, but that's all right, man. Oh, buddy, I'm excited, man. I'm flathead, and got a flathead and a blue, back to back. We got all this slime all over everything here too. Y'all get all that slime off my line there. Yeah, let's take this. other hook here. Let's run it through. That flathead got the back hook, didn't he? All right. Let's toss it out there. There he goes. Now, let's get a shad out of our bag there. We're going to replace that piece of bluegill on the other rod too. Just go ahead and switch it out. It's been down there too long anyway. All right, we got that one behind us. Yeah, I was kind of in my head second guessing myself to fish here because we'd only had that one dink to that point. And yesterday, man, the bite was on pretty quick, but I was in that deep hole yesterday. So either way, we're going to sit here a little while now. Let's see what all we've got in here. Let's get one of these. We'll use a chunk on the left rod and the head on the other. Man, that's awesome, y'all. I love seeing these light tackle rods go down. When they double over and drag's peeling, it gets the heart rate up. Definitely gets the heart rate up more than calculus class. I'm gonna bore you all to tears with that. If anybody's still watching, the hell, I done run everybody off with the school children sermon. Nobody even saw that flathead and blue. But that's 3 fish in, what, an hour? 3 fish in an hour? For as slow as things started, that's pretty good. We've rebounded here. All right, so we got our head on there. Now let's reel this one in. Throw this bluegill off here. They can have it. I just used that bluegill first thing because it was good and fresh. Whereas this shad here is a little bit older. Bet you can't go wrong with shad. They're eating them gizzard shad every day. That water in that bucket's nasty, but that channel cat probably be all right. I see him down. He just sitting there on bottom. We liable to get him eat today potentially if we end up putting him on. I'd prefer having that gizzard shad on. I feel like it has the best chance of getting eaten. Because, I mean, even that flathead, I mean, you saw that flathead. That was a big gizzard shad, but those flatheads can eat baits that are 1/3 of their size. So if you get a 30-pound flathead, in theory, it could eat a 10-pound bait just because of the size of their mouth and whatnot. And I've caught some fish that have had big fish inside of them. Like you can see the tail sticking out of their mouth and stuff. Like if they can get it in their mouth, they're going to eat it. But them gizzard shad, man, they love them things. And that one there, still alive, struggling a little bit. Got a couple hooks in him now. Got him down there on bottom. Like he's ripe for the pickings for any fish that comes along. The only thing about, I'd said we might get on the move and drift, work around this bend. But here's the thing about that right now. The wind has started to pick up. You can kind of see there. Hopefully it ain't messing up the microphone right now. If we drift, it's going to push us probably a little bit faster than what we want to go at the pace it's currently blowing. And as far as these big baits goes, I kind of want them on bottom with the double hook rig. Like we could suspend them, but it's not going to be as natural because of how they're hooked. Like they're not going to, if we suspend that gizzard shad, he ain't going to swim right. You know what I mean? Like it ain't going to look right. Whereas if he's on bottom, he looks just like he's dying. Any movement he's doing down there, he looks just like he's dying. He's a dying shad that's fallen to the bottom. Easy meal. So what we could potentially do is move. We'll give this a few more minutes for sure, but I may kind of change the plans a little bit and run down river and either hit that point or that hole down there. And I know we're doing unedited, uncut video here today, but I can turn the camera off while I run down river and then just turn it back on and get down there. And that way we'll be kind of set up in such a way. Because them big live baits, man, that's I mean, when you get something to eat, a 10-inch gizzard shad like it's either going to be a flathead or it's going to be a dang nice fish. And even that flathead wasn't bad. I mean, it's a fun sizer. I was just hoping to hook on a whopper today on them big gizzards. Either way, though, man, we're 3 fish in now, a little over an hour, so I've had worse days. Yesterday, I definitely had more fish, though. The bite was on pretty quickly after getting lines in the water for me yesterday, and then it tapered off later in the morning, a couple hours into the trip, like it had really slowed down. But I think there was fish down in that hole when I got on the water, and I was just offering them up an easy meal. This area here, we need some active fish kind of working through this area. Which this creek over here to our left, like it's a good place for them to work up into to feed, because there's always a lot of bait up in there. Always a lot of shad and other bait fish, stuff like that. So I have no doubts they work in and out of that creek every single day. It's just a matter of being on the water when they happen to be working through. Well, something was giving that rod right there. We're looking right into the sun, but something nipped it a couple times. That sun is bright, man. We're looking right into it, going that direction. Ain't a cloud in the sky. It's been a little bit cooler. We've had a stretch of really hot days, and now this morning it was like 58, 59 degrees when I got on the water. So definitely a little bit cooler. I got the boots on instead of the flip-flops today. You gotta do what you gotta do, keep them feet warm. But hopefully, we're gonna start catching a lot more flatheads, and we're gonna start catching a lot more big fish. This time of year, once you get the spawn completely wrapped up, and the water starts to cool, which it has started to drop, 79 degree surface temps now, a bite just picks up, and it picks up all the way through fall. And a couple of them blues I caught yesterday, my biggest blues, they had some marks on the top of them, and they were skinny, which kind of made me think like, gosh, these might be really late. Most of the spawns done been done and over with here. But those 2 fish looked like they could have recently gotten off the nest, which wouldn't be too out of the norm. I mean, fish don't all spawn at the same time. A lot of them go on together. But you'll get some that go early, then you'll get the big wave of them that all go, and then you'll get some that go really late. And I think maybe a couple of them blues I caught yesterday had just maybe spawned really late. And so they were out there now, still kind of marked up, real skinny. But either way, once you get past that, you get completely done with the spawn, water temperatures start to cool, days start to get shorter, the bite turns on. And it gets better, you start getting more flatheads. And so October, November are some of my favorite months to fish. I like April and May and October and November. Those 4 months out of the year in my area, that's your Willy Wonka golden ticket, man. You can catch a big fish any day of the week, potentially. But your odds improve greatly during those 4 months. And it can vary year to year a little bit too. I mean, some years it might be more March and April, maybe early May. Some years it might be, the bite might be really good, maybe late October and run through December possibly. You know, every year's a little bit different depending on water temperature, water conditions, your weather, stuff like that. But for the most part, if I was planning a trip, vacation-wise, I'd pick one of them 4 months. If I was planning vacations, I would probably do end of April, because sometimes early May, if it's a early spawn year, they'll already be on the nest. So definitely end of April, because the later you can push it back, the trip, the more chance you have of, we have high winds in the spring, so you definitely want to try to be past that period. And then pretty much any time in November. Sometimes the bite gets going good in October, sometimes it don't, but November is usually a good month. Something's getting hit. Oh, it's the left rod. Nipped it. I knew I felt something and finally saw it on the left rod, but just a nipper. Just nip, nip, nip. But regardless, from this time of the year forward, all the way through the fall, it's just going to get better and better and better. The catches will start to get more consistent. The big fish will get more consistent. Just a good time of the year to be fishing. And you get less boat traffic in the fall. In the spring, the boat traffic is ramping up. In the fall, it's winding down. Pleasure boaters kind of go away. The bass boat tournaments kind of wind down. A lot of people, even that are into catfishing, they switch over to hunting. So you end up having a lot of the days on the water completely to yourself. Even the other day, I mean, we've seen, what, 2 boats maybe? 2 boats, a couple kayakers. For this body of water, that's great. Because every evening in the warm months, there's a bass boat tournament at one of these ramps. Every weekend, there's multiple tournaments going on. So, I mean, there's, you out here in the afternoons, man, there's a lot of boat traffic. But in the mornings, not so much. I kind of do want to move, y'all. I know I said first thing was going to drift, and that is a good idea, but with the wind blowing like it is, I feel like maybe we're going to be drifting a little too fast, because the wind, it was blowing out of this creek. You know, we were facing that bridge initially, but now it's blowing directly downriver. So I think it's going to move us a little too quick, and we've got that big bait, which I want on bottom. So I think I kind of want to pack up and move. Would y'all be agreeable to that? Anybody? Speak now. Forever hold your peace. I wanted to cast baits out after we got the blue and the flathead for sure, see if they had any more with them. But other than that little peck over there a minute ago, ain't much else going on. So I think we move. I think that's the plan, y'all. So here's what I'm thinking. We'll turn the camera off while I get down there. When I get down there, I'll turn it back on. We'll go. Because y'all don't want to just watch me just motor down river. They ain't no substance to that. So let me turn it off. We'll pick it up here in just a second. All right, folks, we've made the move. I've come down here to this deeper hole, and I'll kind of show you on the graph best I can. It comes down, and we're 69 feet here. As we drop back, it'll be 74, 75 feet deep on down in this depression. So we're going to take our shad, cast it off behind us just like we were doing up there at the bridge, and then suspend these other baits down. And actually, when I'd pulled up the rod on the left that had gotten tapped, it had stolen our bait. So we were sitting there with a bare hook. But let's get this out. And this shad here, he ain't doing too good. He's still wiggling a little bit. I think I'm gonna cut him though. Just put a little slice in him, get him bleeding a little bit, because he ain't long for this world, folks. So let's just get him bleeding a little bit. We'll still have him out there as is. Big bait and all. But let's put him out for a while, and then we may end up switching him out for that channel cat. There we go. Throw him back a little bit down into this hole, and we'll see what's going on here. Yesterday was a productive day on this spot. Definitely more productive than what we had going on up at the bridge. Although yesterday I didn't get any flatheads, and of course we did get that one there. So either way, we'll try it out. Drop this head down. That's the same head I just put on up there. We'll send it down. I'm gonna have to get another piece of that shad out of the bag. It's a good thing I checked that though. Well, I didn't even check it really. I mean, just reeled it up because it had picked us clean. These smaller hooks, I guess they're more likely to, because of the thinner wire, they're more likely to rip a bait off the hook. Especially when it comes to these shad and whatnot, just because they're a softer bait anyway, especially now that these are a little bit older in here. Throw that tail out, and we'll throw the head back in the bag. We'll reuse it. Now, let's get this down here. So 69 feet, these baits will be down near bottom. Our gizzard shad will be back there behind us. He's probably 72, 73 feet maybe. I didn't cast him far, but he's back there a little bit. All right, down this one goes. And we're kind of shielded from the way the wind's blowing right through here, but there is a little bit of water movement. There's a little bit of flow. It's enough to get our scent moving down into this hole behind us. So if there's some fish there, or if there's some fish moving up this ledge, they should be able to lock in on our baits. And you just never know. I think fish kind of retreat to these holes throughout the day. It's a deep water sanctuary for them. The water conditions down there, they're going to be a lot more stable. You get down that deep, any atmospheric changes, and obviously out here today we've got bluebird skies, a little bit cooler temperatures. We had a front come through. It's not going to be as affected as much at the deeper depths as what it is higher in water column. So those fish aren't as affected by it. Water temperature's more stable. As long as you don't have a thermocline, like that's where they're going to retreat to. And we don't have thermoclines out here. We usually get enough flow that we don't have issues with that. So I think they just kind of retreat back to these holes. And certainly just where we're at, any fish moving up and down river going to come through our baits as well. Speaking of thermoclines, so I fished the tournament this past weekend up in Ohio on the Hoover Reservoir, Hoover Lake. And I caught a big flathead up there on tournament day, which was nice, but I didn't do very good overall. I pre-fished the day before the tournament, caught 3 total fish. Now all 3 of them were good quality, but still only 3 bites. And then tournament day, I got 4 bites. And only really one of them was, that flathead was the only one that was good quality. So I finished 6th place. Wasn't my best performance, wasn't my worst, just kind of blah. If I could have got one more fun sizer, I could have maybe snuck into a 3rd place caching, potentially, but you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, I just couldn't catch the damn thing. So anyway, we get back to the check-in after the tournament's over. And of course, we all talk amongst ourselves and stuff. And I was talking to the fellow that won it, and he won the tournament in 2 feet of water. Now, Hoover, it is a lake. It doesn't have flow, so it does get a thermocline. And the thermocline when we were up there was about 20 feet deep. So I was fishing the upper part of the lake, which is about 20 feet deep at the max. And I was dragging baits, and it's kind of just a big mud flat, big mud basin, if you will, and a lot of bait up there. And I fished shallow. I mean, that flathead I caught, I was dragging 12 feet deep when I caught it. But I never went back to 2-3 feet deep. And that's where they were. And he was catching, him and the other guy both. They got 1st and 2nd, were back there and catching big fish and 2 or 3 foot of water barely deep enough to cover their back. They're out there busting big fish. And I just didn't, you know me, I'm used to fishing at home here, Tennessee River. This time of year, I catch fish deep. You really, I mean, any time of the year here, you can bust fish deep. Like, fish will be shallow sometimes here, but they're deep all the time. So I just never hit the shallow. I never hit the shallow. I never hit that shallow of water. Because around here, I don't like fishing. I fish that shallow for carp. But for cats, man, you throw out cut bait around here in 2 feet of water, the turtles and the gar are going to terrorize you. They're going to be stripping hooks nonstop. And two, I don't think bigger cats are up shallow here as much. I think, kind of like I talked about, you know, with us not having a thermocline, the deeper structure is going to have the more stable water, more stable conditions. It's just going to be more tolerable for them. And so I think they kind of spend their time on those areas and then just move up when they have to feed. And there's so much bait out here, hell, they never have to go far to move up to eat. So I just don't think they're shallow a big portion of the time here. With that said, I never fish shallow, so what the hell do I know? I mean, it could be days where I'm out here fishing deep and nothing going on, and I'm thinking, boy, it's a bad day. It's just not active today, and in reality, the bite could be on fire because they could all be up real shallow just in a feeding frenzy. So that probably happens. And it could be that they're shallow more oftentimes here than what I give them credit for. But it seems to be the bodies of water, specifically lakes, where you don't have current flow and you do have a thermocline, it seems like they're shallow there way more often. And I guess it's just those fish just looking for the oxygenated water. Because, I mean, you know, you get below the thermocline, in the case of Hoover last weekend, and below 20 feet, you just wasn't going to have oxygen, so it wasn't going to be suitable for those fish. So even at the upper part of the water column, where they're going to be more subjected to atmospheric changes with fronts and stuff moving through the weather systems, it's still, that's where the oxygen is. And you got to breathe. Like you can go without food a long time, you can go without water for a little while, but you can only go without air for a few minutes. And it's same thing with fish, man. They gotta go for the oxygen first, then the food. So that's just one of them things. That's part of traveling for these tournaments. And the tournament trail, it's one of those things that just gets you better as a fisherman, because you have to fish outside your comfort zone. You have to learn new skills. It's unfortunate that the tournament trail, the national trail, has kind of fallen on its face a little bit, because it really ain't worthwhile to go to these tournaments from a financial perspective, because you go travel places and you're competing against guys who are living and fishing those waters. They live up there, you know, they're fishing on those waters all the time. They've got a home field advantage. Same thing when we have a tournament here in Tennessee, like I have a home field advantage here. So what you ultimately need for a national trail is you need to either have enough money in the prize pool or enough people sign up that you can pay out good prize money for several places on down the line. But we're having such bad turnout this year that really, if you don't finish first place, if you don't win, because there's $1,000 guaranteed for first place before any entry fees are added in. So first place is a nice payout. Even if we only have 12, 14 people, like you're going to get $1,500 for first place. But if you only have 12, 14 people and you finish second place, yeah, you're cashing, but you're probably going to break even. By the time you factor in your tournament entry fee, hotel, fuel, food, fishing license if you're traveling out of state and you got to buy a new license somewhere, like by the time you factor in all that, pretty much breaking even. And so as far as the national trail goes, unless it's just a destination spot that you're wanting to go vacation at, you really can't look at it from a competitive standpoint as far as wanting to go fish and compete for money, because unless you just win, and even if you do win, hell, you're not making much money. So, you know, unfortunately, the trail, this is year 3 of the national trail, and it's just, attendance is down, payouts are down. We still don't have any guarantee. See, the other thing with these national trails is ideally you would have an Angler of the Year prize. So the people who are traveling to the events and making the commitment to go multiple tournaments throughout the season, they would be competing for a prize, Angler of the Year prize, earning, you know, the points race, so that they would have some carrot dangling on the stick in front of them for making the commitment and the sacrifice of time, travel, expense, and all of that. And that kind of offsets, if you have that, that kind of offsets the jackpotter aspect of it, you know, where the guys who have no interest in fishing a national trail but will sign up for the tournaments on their home body of water because they have an advantage. At least in the situation for the points race, you would still have something to shoot for. But And last year it was like that. They had like $5,000 for the points race last year. So Ryan finished first in it last year. I think he got $3,000 maybe. I finished second. I think I got like $1,400 maybe, and then third place was a few $100. So it paid out 3 places in the Angler of the Year. So for those of us who had made the commitment to travel to multiple events and qualify for Angler of the Year, we were rewarded at the end of the season. This year, there might be a prize, but there very well might not be. I mean, the schedule for this was announced in like January, February, and here it is, September now, and we still don't know for sure if you're going to have an Angler of the Year prize or not. And it's like, with the fact that attendance is down, the payouts suck, and there's nothing to shoot for, like, why travel to these tournaments? Unless it's, like I said, unless it's just a place that you want to go, like a destination spot, you're wanting to take a vacation there, and just there happens to be a tournament going on while you're doing it, well, great. But as far as competing in a national trail, like, what's the advantage to that now? When you know you have to win to have a chance at turning a profit. Now, my situation is a little bit different because of this YouTube crap. Like, as long as I get video content while I'm there, then I'm good. You know, the tournament itself is just bonus money if I cash. But most of the guys that fish these things they're not doing YouTube. You know, they're regular people. They've got jobs, they've got families, they've got to take vacation time and PTO time to be able to make the commitment to travel outside of their home water. And it's just unrealistic to ask them to do that if there's not something there on a platter for them at the end of the year. Give them something to work toward. And like our tournament director also runs some other events, some like online events. So like they had and regular viewers, you saw me compete in the slot tournament, like month-long slot tournaments. I did a couple of those early in the spring until I was mathematically eliminated from winning the kayak. But there's that, and there's a couple other ones they do too around the Kentucky, Ohio area and whatnot. And I think maybe one exclusively on Hoover Lake that we were just on. But all of those trails, they have a kayak for the end of the year prize for the Angler of the Year, whoever wins the points race. And the kayaks, I think one trail has the Bonafide XTR, so that's like a $3,000 kayak. The other ones I think have new canoes, which they're probably around $2,000 these days. But still, there's something for those guys to look forward to. And they're fishing tournaments that are $25 entry fees, $30, whatever they are, cheaper entry fees. They don't have to travel anywhere because they're fishing bodies of water close to home. And yet they have a prize at the end of the year that's worth competing for. But us guys on the national trail who are paying 5 times the amount in entry fees, plus having to make the commitment to travel somewhere and take on all the extra expense of fuel, lodging, etc. It's like, well, tough break. You know, it don't make no damn sense. So, I think I'm probably done for the year. The Angler of the Year this year, you had to compete in 4 tournaments. It was going to score your 4 best tournaments. 4 out of 6. And then the last tournament of the year in Louisiana wasn't going to count towards the points race, last I'd heard. Well, I fished the first 4. I got a first, a second, a 4th, and now a 6th on my score, and I'm leading the points race. But the rest of the tournaments on the schedule, like, you got Missouri coming up next, Lake of the Ozarks, 10-hour drive for me, and a body of water I've never been to before. So, one 10-hour drive alone, that's a lot of fuel. You've got lodging to pay for, which keeps going up. And I probably need a little extra practice time since I've never been there before. I don't know what bait is effective there, how to catch the bait there. I've got to learn the body of water. So I'm going to have all that extra time and expense to get ready for this tournament, if I was to go, which I'm not. And then I probably, even after all that, probably still lose because somebody that fishes it all the time will sign up for it. And it's like, I'm guaranteed, I'm pretty much, unless I get lucky and just stumble into some fish and win the tournament, I'm guaranteed of losing money to go to a body of water that honestly I don't have a desire to fish. So I'm not going to do it. The tournament after that's in Texas. Same thing. You're going to be going down there, making a huge commitment in time and expense to fish a body of water that you know nothing about and compete against guys who live down there and fish down there. Oh, fish. Oh! Got him. Got him. Got him on that chunk. Now he's going to take off too. All right, first one here in this deep hole. It's a blue. I feel him rolling. It was a nice takedown, but it ain't going to be a nice fish. That takedown, folks, gets me every time. You're just sitting here, out of nowhere, boom, rod goes down. How long have we been on here? No, 20 minutes we've been on this spot. First fish. Hopefully our scent's getting pushed downriver here, so these fish are going to hopefully be able to come up and find them, any fish that's down below us. And it don't take a lot of these catfish, man. They're basically one big tongue down there. It don't take a lot of scent in the water for them to be able to come find it. Yeah, that's boy, he's long but skinny. Probably you call him, I'm gonna call him a larger dink just because of his weight, but you could call him a fun sizer technically on his length here. He ain't getting no front camera time though. You out of luck, fish. You're gonna have to eat you a sandwich if you want some front camera time. Now see, he's one right here. You see, well, he's not in the light. You see how he's kind of hooked behind that bony plate in the mouth? That, you can't see because of the shadow. That's real rough right there. And so that's rubbing on that line throughout the fight. So I'm going to check this line here when we get him unhooked. But that's kind of the fear with the light tackle and a big fish, is you hook them in such a way like that where you just end up rubbing the friction on that line and you end up breaking off. But yeah, long, skinny fish. Get on out of here. Go think about what you've done today. Make better life decisions, fish. Fish says he can't make good life decisions. He's been through the same school system as everybody else. It's antiquated. Didn't prepare him for real life. Yeah, you can't blame the fish in that situation, man. It ain't their fault they weren't adequately prepared. They didn't know any better. Let me get another one of them gizzards out of there. We got a lot of thread fins in there, but I want them gizzards preferably. All right, that one ate the chunk, so we'll put another one on. But yeah, I mean, the tournament deal, and it ain't 100% sure that we're not going to have an Angler of the Year prize. But I feel like that kind of thing needs to be stated up front. That way, guys know what they're getting into. Because, oh, behind us, our shad's going down. Oh, buddy, that whole shad got eat. That's a 10+ inch gizzard shad, and he is eating. That's a good fish. Oh, buddy, I felt him pull it. I'm getting the other one rigged up here. And this one goes down. Oh, man. Oh, that's exciting. I'm loving these light tackle rods and the takedowns, but boy, when you got a big bait out and it gets eaten and you feel the kayak moving behind you because you're getting pulled, that'll get your heart rate up too, man. I hope it's a flathead. How awesome would it be if it's another flathead? I'm gonna put that channel cat on next. We're gonna put a live channel cat on this thing. It's a blue. I just felt him roll. Oh, he's gonna take back off now. That's a good one. He's staying down. He's staying down, buddy. I'm just hanging on, letting him pull. Goodness. Strong fish, man. We catch one this size right here on the light tackle, it's gonna be an all-day battle. But I'm looking forward to it. My heavier gear here, it's my signature series rod, Golly Whopper rod from Catfish Sumo. Like, it's perfectly suitable for fish this size. This is a beast right here. This is strong. I'm confident it's a blue though, because I felt him roll at one point. Y'all gonna need to net this fish for me. We got that net, we're gonna use it now. Need to try to keep him out of that front line up there too. I'm afraid he's gonna get in it. He may be in it. It's kind of at an angle there. We've either got another fish on that rod there working it, or he's in it. We'll deal with the tangle though for a beast. All right, we're making progress on him here. All right, man. This right here is going to be worth the wait today, folks. It started out slow for us this morning, but boy, business has picked up now. We should be any time now being able to get, oh, and some big bubbles right there. Look at them big bubbles coming. He's definitely in our front line. Big bubbles coming up. Nice fish. Nice one right there, buddy. Oh, man. I'm gonna play him out a little bit, get him over here. I want one of y'all to reach down there and grab him for me. Oh, man. Yeah, this setup here, I'm kind of digging it, man. Put a couple light tackle rods up front, try to get you some action. Have some fun if you hook into a big fish, but then throw out a huge bait behind you. Some days this big bait may not get eat. But boy, when it does, it's either gonna be a flathead like we got earlier or a big one, a big blue. All right, let's get our shad bag out of the way. Grab our net here. Boy, it's a strong fish. Strong fish right here. Oh, buddy. He's gonna go back down. I think we got lucky. I think he come out of our front line up there. He was in it. I think he come out of it. We'll have to reel that thing in a minute though, make sure it's still got bait on it. Can't be worrying about that right now though. We got a beast on. Beast from the east, Bam Bam Bigelow here. Oh, that is a whopper, man. Get that net. Get that net. There he is. Oh, buddy, we got us a whopper, man. That's a whopper. Oh, goodness gracious, I can't hardly get that up in one arm. Oh, buddy. Oh, yes. 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 Y'all, we got us a whopper, man. Oh, buddy, how about that? How about that, buddy? Yes, y'all. Here, let me see. Well, let's see. Let me keep a camera here till we get the hook out of him. Let's see where he's hooked at. See which hook it was that got him. I can't see. I can't see where the hook's at, actually. Where is the hook at? Oh, there it is. Is that the front hook that got him? Where's the other one at? Yeah, it was the front hook that got him. Oh, man, y'all. Let me set that out of the way. I'd like to get that hook out of the way, but it's down there in the dang net. All right, I'm gonna hold this thing up, man. Let me set y'all up here. I want you to take a picture of me and this fish. We've earned this fish this morning, y'all. We had a slow start, but boy, business picked up, man. Oh, flare your tail out there for me, fish. You don't want a good picture. There we go. Oh, man. Yes, y'all. Oh, buddy, that's a good fish. This made my day. I think he's wore out. I know I am. Awesome. All right, let's let him go. See ya, buddy. I didn't let him down as gentle as I wanted to, but you can't be leaning over too far with that kind of weight. Y'all, we got us a dang whopper, man, on that whole shad. Big bait. I tied on them double hook rigs just for that today. Because, you know, oftentimes, if you come out just swinging for the fences using big baits, you just ain't gonna, I mean, we'd have 2 fish so far today, you know? But some days you ain't gonna have any. And so it's nice doing it like we're doing it today, where yeah, we're swinging for the fences, but we've also got an option here for a lot of bites with the smaller baits and the light tackle. And of course we could hook a monster on the light tackle too. It could very well happen. But, oh buddy, that pleases me, folks. That tickles my fancy, buddy. Puts the tingle in the dingle, man. Get this hook all out of this net. Oh man, y'all, that was awesome. What a battle too. He was a strong fighter. Boy, y'all got that dang hook in there now. There it goes. Let's get our net out the way. Here's what we're gonna do. We gotta do a few things. First off, let's lower this bait down now, which we was about to do when that fish hit. I'm gonna put our channel cat on next. We're gonna throw him out just like we did the gizzard shad. Just have him on bottom there behind us. And then I'm gonna reel this one up on the right side here, because even though that fish came out of the line, he was in it for a little while, and I'm worried he may have knocked the bait off. So we'll go ahead and reel it up, probably switch that bait out anyway. But let's do, where'd my net go? There it is. Let's get this channel cat. He's probably what, 6? He's probably smaller than what I had initially said he was there. I had the big eye, but he's probably 6 inches, give or take. We're gonna put him on though. We're gonna put him on live. Where are you going? Hopefully, oh boy, these fins are sharp, man. Calm it down, sir. My hooks are a little big for you, but we're gonna make it work. Boy, his fins, boy, they're sharp. Oh, Lord. Y'all, get your fish hooked up here, man. Get hold of him. What a battle this is. Every time he flares out them damn fins, man, they are something else, like needles sticking into you. I mean, let's go up through him like that, maybe. Oh, hell, I done gone and done it now. I done tore him. We're having a hard time with this, folks. There we go. Now I got it through the nostril. Now he really don't need the second hook. Oh, well, the bait we was gonna check there just got hit. I'm gonna go ahead and do this second hook on him just because he's small enough. I don't know that we really need a second hook in him, but why not? And I'll tell you what else I need to do. If y'all will bear with me just a second, I need to get a thumbnail with this. This will be a great thumbnail, using a channel cat for a catfish bait. This will make a great thumbnail. Let me hold him out in the sun here a minute. Let me get the camera positioned here, folks. Yeah, but oh, let me turn this way. Boy, I got the sun's at a bad angle here. Let me try to get it. There we go. I'll pull a screenshot off of that at some point here, but yeah. Let's, I'm gonna cut just a slit in him too. Y'all turn your head a minute. Y'all turn your head over here. I'm gonna cut a slit in this thing. I wanna get him. I want him to be wiggling, and I want him bleeding a little bit. There we go. Some people don't like seeing live fish get cut. It bothers them. I don't know why they're watching fishing videos if that's the case, but hell, people like being triggered. All right. Let's see if we can get this channel cat eaten now. Man, that last one though, y'all. He was strong. If we had hooked him on the light tackle, it would have took 30 minutes to get him in. But I'd enjoyed every minute of that 30 minutes, so I promise you that I would have. We'll turn that aerator off. I got a bluegill in there. We'll use him next. Let's reel this thing in. It just got hit, but it may have got ripped off. We'll go ahead and switch it out anyway. While we got it up here, yeah, it's still on. Let's switch it out. We've cut several of them heads here, so they plenty of them for us. Oh, buddy, I'm still pumped up, man. I've got the adrenaline running through me right now, y'all. Anytime I catch a big fish. But I think, and I kind of talked about this in yesterday's video, which should have been the last one for regular viewers, but when I'm in this kayak, and I have the option, because this is a bigger kayak, and I've got 4 rod holders on here. But like, you know, we can run our 2 light tackle rods, or we could use 2 heavier action rods and suspend them here off the front. Doesn't necessarily have to be light tackle. I'm just, you know, doing this right now. But then when we're on spots like this, I mean, Why not swing for the fences? Because here's the thing, like if we just swung for the fences all the time, like if that was all we were doing today, bringing out, say, 2 rods, big baits, there's going to be so many days where you just don't catch anything. You don't even get a bite, right? Like those are, you're not going to hit the home run every day. And with me, I mean, I'm just going to keep it real with you. With me doing this YouTube crap for a living, when I hit the water, I need to be getting a video every day. Because, you know, there's a lot of days you just can't, you can't fish. Life happens, weather happens. So when I do have a day on the water with ideal conditions, I need a video. So if I only come out swinging for the fences, I could be shortchanging myself, because maybe if I use normal baits, normal gear and stuff, then I catch enough fish to make it happen, and maybe hopefully get some big fish too. But like, it's hard as a YouTuber, it's hard to make a commitment to just to say, hey, I'm going to only throw 10-inch plus baits every trip. You just can't do it. But when you're in a situation like we are here, where using this light tackle, like we're going to catch some fish. We may not catch a lot of fish, but we're not going to get skunked usually using the light tackle stuff. So a day like today where we're spot locked and we got a little current, why not throw a big bait off behind us? You know? Like if we were trying, and I'm glad now, after catching that fish, I'm glad we didn't drift from the bridge down here, because I'm not so certain it would have went well for us drifting with that double hook rig. Like if I'm gonna throw a double hook rig, I want it cast out, kind of on bottom type situation. I want to hook my baits differently if I'm suspending. But how we're set up today, man, this is perfect. It's ideal for it. We're going to get our action, hopefully have our fun with these rods. And if, oh, by the way, we hook a monster on a big bait behind us, well, great. That's awesome, man. So, yeah. And he was, I mean, it was a solid fish. Strong fighter, heavy for his length. Like, that was a good fish. That made my day. That made my day. Ate the big gizzard. It was just about dead, but we'd cut the slits in him. And honestly, I don't really care. Live bait, cut bait, I kept them alive because I could. Just having the 2 in the bucket there and getting them right before I come out here. But, oh, right here, that head bait we just put down. He's got it now. Oh, I pulled it out of his mouth. I'll leave it sitting there a second, and I'm going to reel it up here, make sure he's still got the bait on. He might have robbed us. If he did, I need one of y'all to call the law. I'm surprised we ain't heard a bunch of sirens around here. Every time I fish out here, I feel like I hear sirens. All right, it's still on there. Still good, because we just switched it out a minute ago. Yeah, live bait, cut bait, I don't give a crap. Cut bait's much easier to deal with, but like, what is, you know, I had gizzard shad today, and then was the biggest I had. Now we got the channel cat, but like, if I got, say a day where I got skipjack, and we're doing this, well, hell, maybe we just put on a whole 2 or 3 pound skipjack. Just cut some slits in him, get him bleeding a little bit, throw him out there on double hook rig, and whatever happens, happens. White bass or crappie, you know, whatever we have. Lately, I've been throwing the net a little more just because skipjack fishing's been so terrible all year. I did catch some, before I went to Ohio, I was going to take some white bass up there to Hoover. Last year, I won the tournament on Hoover using white bass. I wanted some more. And I've been seeing them at sunrise for the last month. And I go out there the day before, I was well, the day of it, I was leaving to drive up to Ohio, expecting to just load a cooler with white bass. Never saw the first one. They wasn't busting, they wasn't none to be found. But I did catch some skipjack while I was trying to get them, and I got some bluegill and stuff, so that's what I ended up taking with me to Ohio. I took gizzard shad, bluegill, and skipjack. But for what we're doing out here with this setup, we can put anything on them front rods. I would prefer to have something, an actual fish, whether it's shad or bluegill, skipjack, whatever. But I mean, push comes to shove, hell, we could use some chicken if we had to. But our big bait behind us, whatever I get, just throw it out there. Now, would we have, let's say we didn't have that big shad out there. Would we still have caught that big fish? Would he have come up and ate one of our smaller baits? Maybe. It's possible. I mean, any fish that's coming up river is they're gonna get to our bait behind us first. And it's certainly gonna be putting out, well, the shad anyway was gonna be putting out more scent. This channel cat, no bigger than he is, ain't gonna be putting out a lot. But catfish, man, their ability to pick up on scent is pretty amazing. Like their whole body is one big tongue, if you will, as far as tasting stuff in the water. So you don't have to have a lot of scent for them to come find it. But nevertheless, it's like, you know, you could sit here and play the mind games like, well, that fish was clearly here or working through. He was either in this hole already or he's working up this ledge, and he comes across that fresh, either dying or freshly dead gizzard shad that we had out. It's a big meal for him. He eats it. If that's not down there for him to eat, and he comes up to our smaller pieces of gizzard shad, maybe he eats, maybe he don't. Who knows? But as long as we've got some either preferably current or even a steady wind, we can do this. Now, what you don't want to have is for us to either be spot locked or anchored down on a calm day, no current, and then just an occasional wind blowing you around. Because then that bait back there is going to get all snagged up and stuff on bottom. But if your kayak is setting in a consistent direction like it is here, and we got current going, we can cast that thing out. And the reason I had done that yesterday, because initially I had started out suspending all 3 rods yesterday, because I love suspending. That's my favorite way to catch fish. But I got a tangle yesterday. And, you know, these lighter tackle rods, I can't horse fish in. I can't get control of them as easy. So I was like, well, let me cast that bait out, and it'll put some distance between our lines. Hopefully help prevent tangles. So I think that's the ticket for us doing this setup, if it's possible. Which, this point in the year forward, like, we should have some current most days. And this summer was a little bit different. We had more current flow this summer than in most years because we had more rain this year. But usually the summer months, you come out in the morning hours, you don't have any flow at all. But once you get on into the fall, you start getting more rain, you start getting more flow, and that'll last all the way through spring next year here. So yeah, I'm pumped though, man. It's so awesome to get a big fish. Any day you get a big fish, it's a good day. And nice too, because like I said before, yesterday I hadn't fished on Fort Loudon here in, gosh, I can't even remember when. I mean, it's been a few months. I'm talking for anything. Like, I ain't tried to get bait out here. I ain't done any ultralight fishing out here. Like, I've not been on Fort Loudon at all in a few months. And this is from where I live, like this is a very convenient place for me to fish. This body of water. I mean, I can be on Fort Loudon in 5 minutes from my house. Like I've got a boat ramp that's literally 2 miles from my house. But I hate the boat traffic so much during the summer months, I just don't go out there much. And you don't get as much flow on Loudon as you do on the other reservoirs of the Tennessee River, because the way the Tennessee River works, like this is the top of the Tennessee River. It's formed, well, that's several miles upriver from here, but the French Broad and the Holston Rivers come together, form the Tennessee River. There's no dam up there. Those two rivers come together. And then you got to run 50 miles, 50 or 52 miles, I can't remember, downriver, and then you hit Fort Loudon Dam. And meanwhile, it's deep and wide in a lot of places. So you get down on the lower end of Fort Loudon here, it'll be 80 plus feet deep and, you know, damn near half a mile wide. So even if you have flow, it's not very much flow in that situation. Like you got to have a lot to get that water moving. But once you get down below Fort Loudon, then you're on Watts Bar, and then Chickamauga and Nickajack and Guntersville and so forth and so on. Then when they start releasing water from the dams, then you start getting more flow. And you get more flow, you know, all the way through. But up here on Fort Loudon, like you'll have some water movement at the top of it, especially after rains and stuff. It's coming down from the mountains. But when you get halfway down, especially toward the lower end, like forget about it. You just don't have much water movement. Now we do out here today. We've got a little bit of water movement out here today. We had some yesterday too. Anytime you got flow, it helps your cause. It's just going to help disperse your scent. I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm content sitting here for the rest of the trip. I'm probably going to fish another hour or so. So I'm content sitting, after catching that big one, man, I'm content, I get my words out, just sitting here for the duration, whether we catch any more or not. Yesterday, though, man, I fished this hole, and so 69 feet, casting back into a little bit deeper. Up there at the bridge, we were what, 53, 54 feet deep, something like that. So, I mean, you know, it's possible that fish that are kind of in this hole, they might, we got one right here, look at this. You see our line? Swam at an angle right there. He's hit our bait and come up with it. I missed him too, I pulled it right out of his mouth. He had took our bait and was swimming off with it. Those are the hardest ones to hook, because there is no pressure on the line whatsoever. You got to catch up with the fish and then set the hook. And if he feels anything weird going on, he's going to spit it. Seems to be usually the smaller ones do that though. The big ones hit it and they try to stay down with it. I hope that channel cat gets eat. And I hope the thumbnail for the video turns out. Only got one shot at it, so I hope I had it positioned right. When it's sunny like today and I got my sunglasses on, I can't see the camera screen. So I can't see exactly where I was holding that thing. But you want it in the sun, you obviously don't want a shadow over the bait, because that's going to mess up the picture. So, another one of them things you got to think about as a YouTuber, I reckon. My thumbnail game has always been pretty weak. I'm just not an artist. Back in if the public school system had been done like I think it should be done, I would have never been in any kind of art class ever because I don't have an aptitude for it at all. I'm not a creative person. I'm not an artistic person. I'm more analytical in my thinking, more practical. So it's hard for me to do things like thumbnails, YouTube titles, which ChatGPT helps a lot with that. I can put in ChatGPT today. I'll be like, write me 30 video titles for catfishing with big shad or channel cat or whatever, you know, if we get this thing, whatever, you know, and it'll spit out a bunch of clickbait titles and stuff. So that makes that easy. That's the only thing that AI does that I find helpful in my life. Okay, we got this head bait up here, something messing with it again. I swear I didn't imagine that. I swear I ain't imagining it, folks. No, look, the line is... Okay, I got him then. I was like, I know I ain't imagining that damn line swimming. I was like, I don't feel him, but he's on there. He just come up in the water column and was taking off. It's gonna be another small, but it's action. It's something to do while we wait on the big one to bite back there on our big bait. Yeah, he's bigger than I thought he'd be. Another eater size right here. I'm not gonna have to net him or anything though, but still, another bite, another fish. He's hooked right in the bottom of the mouth too. He just took a big crap right there. That's why you always gonna need plumbers, because them catfish always gonna be taking a crap. Let me have that hook. Another one on the mosquito hook. There you go. Let's check our leader after that. Let's see, got it twisted up here around our swivel too. What has he done? Would he tie that dang thing in a knot somehow? How the hell did he do that? By God, he did. He tied it in a knot. These catfish, buddy, they're more clever than we give them credit for. Let's see. That feels good. All right, well, let's grab another one of them heads out of here. I had another. Right there's one. Okay. Let's get this, put it on, send it right back down. Another old gizzard shad head there. It would be interesting to know, like, that's one of the things I'd kind of considered whenever my YouTube days are over, is spending a year with nothing but big baits. Like every time you come out catfishing, and I don't know if I could commit to it because I do like action. Like I need to be catching some fish. Like, you know, if you do it one day and you catch big fish, great. But if I go 3 or 4 trips and don't catch anything, could I stick with it? But it would be interesting to know, like if you only threw out 2-pound plus skipjack and 3 to 5 pound carp and the biggest gizzard shad you can find, like if you only did that, how big a fish would you catch and how many would you catch throughout the year? Obviously, numbers would go way down, of course. But how many trophies would you get? I don't know the answer to that. Someday when my YouTube days are done, I may spend a year, make a year-long commitment. You just can't do it as a YouTuber though, man. You just can't. You've got to get action. You have to get content. You know, I'm going to put out 100 videos a year. I don't think I could get 100 videos if I was just swinging for the fences. And even if you could, the videos are going to be so short. Like, there's no, I mean, as a content creator, there's just no value there. You need the, you just can't, I mean, how long did it take? That was a big fish. How long did it take us to land him? So we do an intro for a minute. We get that one big fish. Maybe you even throw in the flathead up there earlier. He didn't take long to land. I mean, you got a 10-minute video when it's all edited down. You just can't, you can get some clicks with that, but you ain't making a living doing that. So you gotta have some action, man. You need big fish. I want to catch big fish, but you gotta have action too. This is a fair compromise, I feel like, doing like we're doing today, and especially too since I'm into the light tackle. I've been just, lately when I've been thinking about going catfishing and like planning trips, where am I going to go and stuff, like, I mean, honestly, when I went to Ohio for the tournament, I didn't take these rods, but I strongly considered it. I was like, you know, on my practice day, I might get out there and poke around with the light tackle stuff and see what happens, just because I've been having so much fun with it. Now, one thing I am going to try that I haven't done yet with the light tackle is put on some dragging rigs. Thus far, I've only suspend fished with the light tackle. And that makes it, obviously when you're suspending baits, you've got a set distance between your baits. And if a fish hits this left rod and the kayak gets spun around, unless he swims to the other rod, you're not going to get tangled up. Now, if you're dragging, and say you're using 2 rods, and a fish on the left hits, and you get all spun around, all cattywampus, well, you might end up tangling yourself up with your other rod here. Now, if you got the motor, that's one thing. You can keep yourself going forward, but most of the time lately when I've been doing the light tackle stuff, I've been in my pedal kayak. One of them, anyway. So I do want to try it, though, just to see what it'd be like. It may be that these rods are too flimsy to really do it effectively. But I do have some rigs tied up. I've got some dragging rigs made with the lighter line, smaller hooks, just waiting to do it, but maybe next week. I'm doing this right here today. Obviously, tomorrow I'm going to try to, I may, if I get a chance this afternoon, try to get us some more bait. I'm going to dump whatever bait we have left over today. But tomorrow, if I can get us some shad or something, we'll catfish, but I'm kind of wanting to do some ultralight fishing too. I've been kind of in the mood for that too. One of my channel members sent me a new lure. I use gulp minnows all the time when I'm ultralight fishing. He sent me some gulp worms, floating trout worms. And he says he uses them like a Ned rig. Same jig heads that you use the gulp minnows, but put the worms on there and they're like a little miniature Ned rig. And so I've been chomping at the bit to try them. So I may end up doing a little of that tomorrow. I don't know. Whatever the mood strikes me. That's the perk of getting to do this crap. Like I was talking earlier, back when I was towing the kayak with the car and you pull up the red light and people be laughing at you, making fun of you and stuff. It's like, those people, they laughing at me at the red light on the way to their job. But me, by God, I wake up and do whatever the hell I want. The freedom in that is worth the laughter I get for driving a compact car for years and not taking on a $70,000 car payment, you know? I'd rather have that freedom than to have the admiration of the Joneses, of people I don't even know. You know, screw those people. We all, if we're lucky, have a handful of people in our lives, family, maybe some close friends, but if we're lucky, we'll just have a handful of them, that their opinions and respect of you matters. Everybody else is just noise, good or bad. No offense to any of y'all out there that like me, and surely to goodness those of you that don't have already clicked off the video. But you know what I mean? Like, we've all got some close relationships in our lives. Maybe not many. Most of us don't. I don't have many. But you want the respect of those people, and everybody else, it's like, you know, it's great if people like you, but at the end of the day, if Bob 3496 screen name on social media is upset with me about something, that's his problem, not mine. Because as long as my future wife here, I'm about to marry here in a couple months, as long as she's happy with me and my parents are happy with me and the 2 or 3 people that I consider close friends are happy with me, then really nothing else matters. My future wife, though, boy, she's got she's got a problem, y'all. She's into these things. I think they're on TikTok. They are, what the hell are they called? Labubu's? Fubu's. Fubu was the clothes brand. Fububu's. Labubu's. There's some kind of damn stuffed animal action figure. And they got like Disney character. She had like 5 boxes show up yesterday. And one of them was like a Ladudu Winnie the Pooh or something, and one of them a Mickey Mouse. And anyway, she's into it. I guess she's reliving her childhood too. I've been reliving mine for the last year. For those of you that have been with me on these long videos for the last year or so, sometime last summer, I started going through a midlife crisis and wanting to relive my youth. And I got really into G.I. Joes and really into wrestling figures again. And so I can't really say nothing about my fiance and her little stuffed animal action figure she's into, because I have been buying G.I. Joes and wrestlers for the last year. And I thought my midlife crisis, like I thought it was going to end at some point, but it's still going strong, man. I'm still into it. There's really 2 types of action figures I'm into. One is the WWE Superstars figures. It's a Walmart exclusive, and they are like He-Man type body style wrestlers. I'm really into those. And the G.I. Joe Classified series, the 6-inch G.I. Joes that are out. Now, I've cut back a little bit on the G.I. Joes because the quality of them is piss poor. Very disappointing on the quality. You open them up and they're not great. Well, some of them are. It's hit or miss. So I kind of scaled back a little bit on those. I think I've actually only bought 2 G.I. Joes all year so far. I got the new Snake Eyes, and I got the Dr. Mindbender Retro. I got it when it come out a few months ago. And I've got the Battle Armor Cobra Commander on pre-order. It's supposed to be coming sometime within the next month. But those are the only ones I've gotten. The WWE Superstars figures, though, man, I'm all in on those. Like, when they come out, I'm on the hunt for them every time they come out with a new series. But there's some new ones coming out in October. They're recreating the LJN wrestling figures. For those of you that are as old as me, you might remember they were the big 8-inch rubber figures from the 80s. It's one of my two earliest childhood memories. Both involve toys, ironically. I don't know exactly how old I was for the wrestlers. Last year, I think, is what started my midlife crisis, actually. I got to talking about G.I. Joes, and the first G.I. Joe I got was the barbecue action figure, the firefighter G.I. Joe. And I looked it up, and he had come out in 1985. And I remember I got him in my Easter basket. It was the first G.I. Joe I ever got, barbecue. And so I would have been 3 years old. I would have just turned 3 there Easter, 1985. So that may be my earliest memory. But another childhood memory that was one of, if not my earliest memory, was on Christmas. I got up Christmas morning and come in the living room, and Santa Claus had got me them wrestlers, the LJN wrestling figures, and the ring was set up, had the big ring, is in the middle of the floor, and all them wrestlers was stacked up around the ring. I had Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, Junkyard Dog, Hillbilly Jim. Like, they were all, it was amazing. It was awesome. And those figures, man, they were like indestructible because they're just big rubber figures. I mean, the ones from my childhood, they had the paint knocked off of them because, I mean, I played hard with them things. Well, they're coming back out with them again. In October, they've got the first 4s coming out. They're recreating Hulk Hogan, just like it was back in the 80s, and a Dusty Rhodes. And then they're also adding in the newer wrestlers too. So they got John Cena and Logan Paul coming out. So I think going forward, they're going to do like series of 4 at a time they're going to release, and it'll be 2 old ones and 2 new ones. I've pre-ordered all of them. I think I'm going to be all in on those too. But yeah, that's, you know, as a kid, I had all kinds of action figures. G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, and wrestling figures were the main things I played with. Thankfully, I haven't gotten into the Ninja Turtles again. And they're out. Like, you go to the toy department, like they've redone those as well. But thus far, G.I. Joes, which I've scaled back on, thankfully, and then WWE Superstars figures, that's what's consumed a lot of my nostalgic midlife crisis. And I've got a problem with that too. So the actual WWE Superstars figures, those are made by Mattel. Okay, you know, reputable toy company and brand. The Walmart distribution of them sucks. Like, you got to go to a lot of different Walmarts to be able to find the ones. But when you find them, at least you know they're good quality. Mattel makes them. Some of the wrestlers, old wrestlers from my youth who don't currently have deals with WWE, have licensed their, I guess, their names, their images, whatever, to smaller toy brands to make figures. And there's several smaller toy brands that makes figures of various wrestlers. And last November, one of those companies, it's called Powertown, they came out with some preliminary pictures of figures that were the same body style of the ones I like. They're like a He-Man body style, but they have some wrestlers that aren't currently part of WWE Legends deals. So Rock and Roll Express, Tully Blanchard, and there was a few other guys on there that I wasn't super interested in. But anyway, in November of last year, it was going to be a Christmas present to myself. I did a pre-order for the Rock and Roll Express, and there was another 2-pack that had Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard. And I don't care about Magnum TA, but I wanted that Tully Blanchard figure, so I done that. Pre-ordered them both, and they were supposed to ship in January. Well, January comes and goes, and those no updates. I think it was around March, they updated their website and said that they were shipping soon. That's all it said, shipping soon. What the hell does that mean? When I think shipping soon, I'm like, okay, a week? A month at the most? What does soon mean? Well, that was March. April goes by, May goes by. I think it was around June, end of May or June, they come out with another announcement. They were on their way. They would be shipping out in July. Great. They're finally at least shipped from China. They're on their way over on the boat. We're going to get them in July. Well, July comes and goes. August comes and goes. Still no figures. Meanwhile, so this company, Powertown, they make the wrestling figures, at least allegedly going to make them. They also make t-shirts and stuff. Well, one of the YouTubers I watch, because I'm a nerd about these action figures, is a guy named Kyle Peterson. He has an action figure review channel. He does unboxings and stuff, and I'm a nerd, so I'm into it. He brought up a point the other day that some of the t-shirts of these wrestlers that Powertown sells are now being sold on Chinese websites like AliExpress and things like that. And he said what happens with these companies, American companies, they work deals with these China manufacturers. When the manufacturers, when they get the products completed and ready to ship, they expect the rest of their payment, as any business would. If companies can't pay the bill, those manufacturers aren't going to just store those goods forever. They're going to turn around and sell them to these discount retailers to try to get rid of them, free up the warehouse space. So he thinks that's what's happened with these Powertown t-shirts that are for sale, or they was for sale AliExpress for $2 or $3 a piece, that would normally be 20, 30 bucks here in America. He thinks Powertown probably placed a big order, maybe even put down a deposit on them shirts, and then couldn't pay the bill when the time come. And so the manufacturer's like, well, we're going to recoup some of our money, and they turn around and sell them off. He's worried the same thing's going to happen with the figures, because they've kicked the can down the road for so long now. And I'm like, well, what the hell do we do? Because another thing, a lot of people's pissed off about it, that they're reaching out to Powertown directly to try to get a refund or just get updates, and can't get even an email response. So I think I could probably, oh, big takedown. Oh, no. Boy, he jolted it, man. Jolted it and didn't hook up. Goodness gracious, that scared me. He pulled it over so hard. I wasn't even paying, I was looking the other way. Goodness. Scare the pee-pee out of you when the kayak jolts like that. Let's get it back down there, though. Daggone. I don't know why he didn't hook up. But, you know, I could probably dispute the charge through the credit card company, because, I mean, I mean, it was a pre-order that was supposed to ship in January, and here we are 8 months plus later and still no product. Meanwhile, they've had the money the whole time. So I could probably dispute that and get the money back, but it ain't really, it ain't even about the money. Like, I want my Rock and Roll Express, man. Like, I got big plans for them Rock and Roll Express to have some matches with my other figures. You know what I mean? Like, I'm full on nostalgia midlife crisis mode here. Like, I need Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, man. And them figures, they look damn good too, at least in the pictures on the site. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it. I don't know how much longer I should give it before I dispute the charge. I mean, if they end up on AliExpress or something, I guess I could buy them there. Probably significantly cheaper than what Powertown was going to sell them for. But it makes no sense to me in a day and time of social media where you can communicate with people instantly. How do you not provide updates? If you say January and you know December or maybe in January that they ain't coming in January, at least get on there and make an update. Don't wait till March and then just say coming soon. Like, tell me, and if you don't know something, be honest and tell me you don't know. Be like, look, we've ran into manufacturing delays or tariff issues or whatever the excuse is. Like, I don't care. Things happen. People understand. But what people don't understand and what I don't get personally is lack of communication. Just be upfront, even if you've totally messed up on your end as a business and it's your fault things are going to be delayed. Just be honest about it and be like, look, I made a mistake. These figures are still coming, but it's going to be way longer now for whatever reason. And if you want a refund, we'll gladly do it. But if you'll stick with us, I promise you're going to get your figures in whatever time frame. That's how you conduct business, man. But no, they ain't done any of that. So I'll tell you this, even if the figures do show up, I personally would never do another pre-order with them. And I don't think anybody else, at least the people I've seen griping online, I don't think they will either. Because how can you trust them? I mean, for me, it wasn't a lot of money. I just got them 4 figures, so it wasn't a huge amount of money. But like the Kyle Peterson guy, the guy that has the YouTube channel about action figures, he buys all of them for his channel. So, I mean, he's $1,000 into this and doesn't have any of them. So he's out a lot more money than, say, a casual person like myself. But I don't think anybody, if they do another series of these figures, I personally won't do a pre-order. I'm not gonna, not after all this. Like, I would wait until they come out, and I'd rather pay a little more from a scalper after the fact than to have my money tied up for a year and maybe possibly not even get the figures without a lot of hassle of trying to either wait for the figures to come or just go through the credit card company and the hassle of that to try to get your money back. Which I don't even know. I mean, like, is there a cutoff time on when you can dispute something? Because, I mean, one would think there probably is. But in a pre-order situation, what do you do? I don't know, man. Nevertheless, the midlife crisis rolls on. We may add them LJN figures into the mix if I get those and like them. Definitely getting the first batch. I pre-ordered them right away. They're going to be a Target exclusive. So hopefully the distribution of those will be better than the Walmart with the WWE Superstars figures. But I do like the WWE Superstars figures way more. That's what I'm really into. I finally found Jake the Snake, Ricky Steamboat, and Eddie Guerrero those come out, I think it was January, February, and it took me until June or July to find them. And the most recent wave to come out was Iron Cheek, Diesel, the Great Muda, and Zeus from the No Holds Barred movie. Like, why they made one of him, I don't know, but I went ahead and got it. I found them at the same time I found Jake the Snake. Like, Walmart's distribution is so bad, they put both waves out at once. And so I got all them. And the next one's coming out sometime in the fall, but it's going to be a really good series that I'm excited about. And I know you all are excited about hearing about my excitement, but it's got Stone Cold Steve Austin, Nikolai Volkov, George the Animal Steel, and they've got a new Ultimate Warrior figure coming out. So I want all of those. I'm most excited about the Stone Cold figure. Probably George the Animal Steel next, then the Ultimate Warrior, and then Nikolai. But they all look amazing. All 4 figures are must-haves. And they've also got it's supposed to be, I think, sometime in September. But they're supposed to be coming out with a 2-pack of The Rock. And it'll be a Mattel Creations exclusive. But it's going to have Rocky Maivia, you know, like when The Rock first started in WWE. It's going to have that one and the final boss version of The Rock. Because they've got his like Attitude Era version of The Rock. That's already, that come out a couple years ago. Hold on, we got a log hitting us here. Y'all take a net here and push that log. And I don't want to feel that thing bumping against us. Driving me crazy. Push that thing on up there. There we go. Hopefully it don't get in our other line as it drifts by. Hell, I think it is going to get in our other line. Let's move this out of the way. Get on, log. Go on with yourself now. There it goes. But yeah, I'm all about them figures. It's a problem really, because I'm running out of room to put this stuff. And if my midlife crisis, if it continues on for, I mean, it's already lasted a year. If this goes on multiple years, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then now, of course, my fiance, she's into them damn FUBU dolls or whatever, and thankfully, she's taking her stuff to work. She's got an office and she's putting them up there, so I told her she can't ever quit or get fired because that stuff would then have to come back home and there's no room for it. All her friends are into them, though. I guess all them women there reliving their childhood or something, but it's some kind of animal on TikTok or something, and I think it's TikTok. It's something on social media, but they're all buying. Her and her friends are all into them. I don't know how much they cost. I don't even know how much she's spending on these damn things. I can't say nothing. Again, every one of them figures I buy is $20, $25. The Wrestlers are $20 and the G.I. Joes are $25. I think that 2-pack of The Rock is going to be $60. They did a 2-pack a few months ago of Dusty and Cody Rhodes. And that was pretty awesome. I got those, of course. But yeah, midlife crisis, folks, going strong. Prior to this time last year, I would have never thought I would have wasted money on such things. I mean, I still got all my toys from being a kid. I got the G.I. Joes at my house, but all the other stuff's at my parents'. But I would have never thought I'd be buying stuff again. And yet here we are. You know what started it? It was, well, I got to looking at, I was talking last year on video about the G.I. Joe, my childhood memory and stuff. And figuring out exactly trying to figure out a time of how old I was for that memory. And I ended up buying a G.I. Joe repair kit and trying to repair some of them. Because, I mean, my G.I. Joes are 40 years old now. And so the rubber O-ring in there dry rotted on a lot of them. They're falling apart. And they sell kits on, you can get a kit on eBay for a few dollars. And it comes with a little screwdriver and replacement screws and then O-rings. They're simple to put back together. So I had done some of that, and then you see these G.I. Joe action figures in the store, and they look amazing. And then I went to Ollie's, which is like a discount retailer, like they get overstock and stuff. And they had a bunch of the Ric Flair WWE Superstar figure. You know, I'm a Ric Flair fan. And it's $3.99. I'm like, well, I got to get that. And then you buy the first one, you're like, well, he's got to have somebody to wrestle. So then I get another one, which I got Hollywood Hulk Hogan on eBay for like $6. And then once you've got two, now you're down the rabbit hole. Now you're just like, it didn't take long. I was all in on it. And I've went back now on all the old ones, because I think they started making those particular figures in 2020 or 2021. I've gotten all of them that I wanted. I'm not going after the whole set. Like there's some of them I just don't care about. Like the Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse figure, I don't care about. AWA version of Hulk Hogan, don't care. Rey Mysterio, don't care. So some of those, like I don't have any interest in getting. But the ones that I wanted, I've gotten all of the old ones now. And it's just waiting on the new ones, which I wish would hurry up and come out. They've already announced like the next 3 waves. The one I told you about, and you all don't give a damn about this, but listen, if we were out here fishing together on a real fishing trip, this is the kind of crap you got to listen to. But the next waves after the Stone Cold wave, you're going to have Demolition, all 3 of them, Axe, Smash, and Crush, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And then after that, you've got the Steiner Brothers, Rick and Scott, Rob Van Dam, and the Hurricane. So I'm definitely going to get all of Demolition and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I'll get the Steiner Brothers. Wasn't a big fan of the Hurricane, but I'm sure the figure will be cool, so I'll get that. And I wasn't a big fan of Rob Van Dam either, but I'll probably go ahead and get that figure just because. It's a problem though, folks. It really is. And you know who's buying these action figures today? Adults. People my age. Kids today, hell, they don't buy toys. And even if they did, they couldn't afford them. These action figures, man, G.I. Joe when I was a kid, $1.99. I could get a $5 allowance, go to Walmart, and I could get 2 G.I. Joes with it. As a kid. Nowadays, G.I. Joes, $24.99. What kid can afford it? I mean, I'm sure kids' allowances nowadays are probably more than what they was when I was a kid. But still, I just don't see kids getting into it anymore. And they clearly don't, because when you look at the toy departments, if I go to Walmart, I go to the toy department, you know who I see? I don't see kids there anymore. It's adults. You'll see a bunch of adults in the Hot Wheels section, and you'll see adults in the action figure section. That's where you see them. You don't see kids. My first job in high school was at Kmart as a cashier. But sometimes if business was slow, they'd make us cashiers go to various departments to straighten up. And man, back in those days, you hated going to the toy department because the kids would just destroy the toy department at Kmart. Parents would let their kids run wild in there. But kids actually played with toys back then. Nowadays, they don't. You never see kids in the toy department. And when I was a kid too, man, you had toy stores, like Toys R Us, Children's Palace. You went to the mall, there was KB toy stores. Not anymore. They all went out of business. I still give my mom hell. Every time I see a picture on social media of somebody, it'll be like an old photograph from the 80s and some kid at Christmas getting that G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. I always remind my mom how she never got me that. Of course, that damn thing was like 7 foot long. And nowadays, you couldn't buy one if you wanted to because they're thousands a day. If you find one that's complete, not even new in box, but like just complete, has all the stuff with it, I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars. I'd give my mom hell for not getting me that as a kid. Lord knows I had everything else, though. I had the figures. We'd go to the flea market as a kid, and I'd get other play sets and stuff, and castles and whatnot, and I'd use those with my G.I. Joes. And I built a lot of my own stuff with G.I. Joes, too. We'd be out, me and my neighbor, we'd go out in the woods and build forts with the G.I. Joes and go down the creek and play with them and stuff. It was a big part of my childhood. I'd like to do it now. My imagination just don't work right. I'll be sitting there, well, like today, for instance, I'll go home and I'll take my camera memory card and I'll put it in the computer. And it takes a while, especially a day like today where I'm filming nonstop. Like it'll take 20 minutes for the files to transfer to the computer. And while I'm sitting there, I'll take my wrestling figures and, you know, Undertaker might choke slam Cactus Jack or something, have a little match. But as far as like my imagination, it don't work like it did when I was a kid, when I could set up these elaborate battles with my G.I. Joes and build these forts and stuff. Like it don't work that way no more. I don't know why it don't. It's just one of them things, I guess you just lose it as you get older. But even if I did still have the imagination and I could play with them like I used to, I don't know that I physically could. Because I mean, you know, as a kid, you can squat down in the floor or be on your knees in the floor for hours playing with action figures. But now, if I tried that now as a 43-year-old, hell, I might not be able to get back up. You know what I mean? If I squat down that long, my legs are probably gonna go to sleep. So, I miss it though. I think that's, if I could pick any age to go back to, I'd go back to being a kid, maybe 5 or 6 years old. Because man, life was good back then. You had action figures, and that was like the heyday of action figures too, man. G.I. Joes, He-Man, Thundercats, Ninja Turtles. You got all your meals made for you. Naps are encouraged. Not a care in the world as a 5-year-old. Not a care in the world. You're still innocent at that age. Once you get to be an adult, now you got responsibility. You have worries, fears. Got to worry about your health. Got to worry about the health of your family and friends. You don't even know about that stuff as a kid. You're completely in the moment as a kid. And I think that's why when people like me have midlife crises and you searching for the nostalgia, it's not the actual G.I. Joes or the wrestling figures, even though they're awesome. It's not that. that you're getting as an adult. What you're getting when I'm opening up that G.I. Joe action figure package or one of the wrestling figure packages, in that moment, the few seconds it takes to open that package, I'm a kid again. In those few seconds, there's not a care in the world. I'm not thinking about anything else. I am present in the moment, opening up that figure. And it don't last long, man. It's a few seconds that it takes to open it. But it's totally worth it. There goes one of them wakeboarders. Thankfully, he's not actually wakeboarding. He's just going somewhere. Those boats, though, man, they're the devil. When they're out there doing the wakeboard thing, boy, they cause a lot of frustration. They cause a lot of damage, too, the shoreline. Yeah, man, the nostalgia of it. That's what we're trying to reclaim when you buy these figures, that 5-10 seconds of that high, really, it's a high that you get. Yeah, man. I don't know when it's going to end for me. Maybe it never does. Maybe I just keep going on and on to the next thing. I thought maybe it'll last a month or two. I'll snap out of it. But here we are a year later, and I'm still as excited about these figures now as I was a year ago. Maybe even more so. If you see Ric Flair at Ollie's, though, they're $3.99, don't get it. Because, man, it's a gateway drug. You buy Ric Flair like I did, and there was them Ollie's, the local Ollie's here, they finally sold out of them. It took them a year. But, I mean, there was boxes and boxes of nothing but Ric Flair. But you buy that one, and he's got to have somebody to wrestle. So you got to buy another. And then you're like, well, yeah, this is pretty cool. I really liked Ultimate Warrior as a kid. Let me get that. And then you're like, man, that Undertaker figure, man, it really looks good. Let me get that. And before you know it, there you go, and you're buying all of them. And that's how it happened with me. Now I'm like, where the hell do I put this stuff? I got them all. I've took a bedroom at the house, and it's kind of my office. I've got the computer and edit and stuff like that for this channel, but that's where I got them figures. But man, running out of space. And there's still a lot of wrestlers too I hope they end up making. Like there's a bunch more figures they haven't made yet that I want them to. Something was messing with our left rod over there. The wind is spinning us around all cattywampus here. It's hitting us at a different angle. We've been a long time without a bite now. Yesterday, the bite was on when I got on the water at sunrise and then petered out. By this point in the morning, it had petered out. And I fear that's what's happened out here with us today. Maybe I should have come down here first instead of stopping off at the bridge. I was curious. I wanted to know what was going on up there, especially at first light. And it was closer. We were running late getting out of here. It was closer. We did get the flathead. We got that fun size blue, but in hindsight, I wish we had come on down here. My day's still made, though. I mean, for action purposes, it's probably not going to be the most productive trip, at least as far as you all watching, but me catching that big fish, I'd have let y'all reel it in if he's here. Y'all can't be bothered to reel in a fish or net one for me, though. Be real helpful if you'd bring some bait out here on these trips with me. But nevertheless, I leave here. I'm going to go home happy because that was pretty awesome catching that big fish. But I would like to get some more, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. Let's switch out our baits one more time here. Let's see what else we got in here. Got any more? I got them. Yeah, we got a few more here. Got a bunch of threadfin in there, but I really prefer the gizzards. I think the catfish prefer the gizzards too. Unless you've got bigger thread fins. Now, if you've got some of them thread fins will get 6 inches, you know, certain times of year, but all of them in there is 2 or 3 inches. I had to go through a bunch of them thread fin to get down to the gizzards when I was throwing the nets. I ended up getting a bunch of thread fins in with the gizzards. Unfortunately, we ain't caught enough fish today to really learn anything new with the hooks. Let's have to keep using these two same styles for a while until we catch enough fish that I'm satisfied that I can choose one over the other. We may end up finding that certain hooks work well for either certain types or cuts of bait. And since I'm pretty much having to redo my leaders before every trip, it's not a huge deal to use different kinds of hooks, depending on what kind of bait or what kind of size of bait we have. It really don't matter to me. This line here is all slimed up, man. That bait has gotten hit, but it still looks, I'm gonna go ahead and switch it out, but it still looks good. All that slime off there. Just going out to between the gills there and out a nostril. Down it goes. Here comes another. I think that's a bass boat coming this time. Time of day, we're gonna start seeing some more boats. About time for me to get the hell out of here is what it is. I was just gonna fish the morning hours here anyway today. I may go try to get us some bait there this afternoon, that way we can catfish tomorrow. If I do that, we'll catfish tomorrow. If not, we'll probably ultralight fish. I think a good balance here, and I'm not much on balance. Like lately, I've been super into this light tackle catfishing, so that's what I want to do. But as far as this channel goes, I think it would be ideal if I had, say, 2 or 3 catfish videos in a row, since that's what most people tune in for. 2 or 3 of them in a row, then an other. Maybe an ultralight, for instance. And then do another 2 or 3 catfish videos, and then do a carp video. You know, and just rotate it like that. But what usually happens with me is I get really in the mood for something. Like I'll get super in the mood to go ultralight fishing, and I'll go do that for 3 or 4 days straight. I like to just wake up and think, what do I want to do today, and then go do it. It's a hell of a way to live. It sure as hell beats being one of them people sitting at the red light making fun of people in their compact car towing a kayak trailer when they're on their way to a job they hate to try to pay for that $70,000 vehicle and the lifestyle they can't afford. I've been there, I've done that, I've been on both sides of it, and I'm gonna tell you, having your freedom is better. I've been broke, I've been in debt before. It took me a long time to dig my way out. But now that I am out, I can't imagine going back to it. I'm also amazed, speaking of that, you just never know where this conversation is going to go to, people. But I'm amazed at the number of people that hates Dave Ramsey online and stuff. Like, he gets a lot of flack. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised about that, because hell, I get a lot of flack just going fishing. I catch a lot of hell. But there's a lot of people that don't like Dave Ramsey. And Dave Ramsey changed my life, man. I read his book, Total Money Makeover, when I was broke as a joke and in debt. And I followed the baby steps, and I climbed my way out of it. It took several years, but I got my way out of it. I mean, and what he says in the book, man, it's nothing revolutionary. It's common sense stuff, but it's like a blueprint. It's an easy to follow blueprint for somebody that's just in debt, spinning their wheels, not happy with their life. It's like, do this, follow these steps, and you got, as Dave Ramsey said, you got to live like nobody else so that later on you can live like nobody else. And when I read that book, I'm like, I can do this. And I sat down, man, I figured out, I called it my 6-year plan. It's like, I'm gonna cut all of these expenses that I could, sell off what I can, and I had based it on the job I had at the time, which I ended up, at the time I was working at a local hospital here in Knoxville, staff nurse in the ER there. But I ended up going into travel nursing, which got me a pay raise. And so I ended up, my 6-year plan didn't take the full 6 years to get done. Oh, here we go. Oh no, I pulled that one out of his mouth too. He didn't take it down hard, he took it down though, and I botched it. Hell, that hook's plumb out it's out his head. There we go. Let's send it back down. Well, we've missed about as many fish today as we've caught. I ain't caught that many. But yeah, so I ended up, it didn't take me the full 6 years that I thought it was going to take, but it still took a while. And when you're going through it, man, and you're making the sacrifices, like, man, I was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch every day because I couldn't go out and eat. I was hanging my clothes on a clothesline instead of using the dryer because I'd read that using your clothes dryer at home, it was like $50 a year you spent in electricity just on that clothes dryer. I said, I ain't spending that. In the spring, you know, when you'd be kind of in between seasons, I'd turn my heat and air unit completely off. If it got cold, I'd just be cold. If it got hot, I'd just be hot. You know, just to save on electricity. Got rid of the vehicle, got the compact car. Sold off everything I could, man. Like, I made the sacrifices, and I did that. And I worked a ton of overtime, and I got myself out. It took a while. It sucked while I was going through it, but I got myself out, and that gave me freedom. And once I got out of debt, I had the house paid off, all my student loans paid off, everything paid off, 100% debt free. Then I had freedom. And so then I didn't have to work year round anymore because I was travel nursing, and when my contract would end, I'd take a little time off, and that opened up time. I had time to do other things, which then led me into getting to fish more. Doing this YouTube crap, which then turned into its own thing. And it's like, if I had stayed on the path I was on, I wouldn't be out here right now doing this YouTube stuff for a living. I'd have never had the opportunity because I'd still be paycheck to paycheck, working overtime just to make minimum payments, like I was back then. And it's like, it's having your freedom, man. That should be the number one thing that everybody should hope to buy with their money is freedom. The freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And you can't do that if you're saddled with debt. You just can't. I mean, compound interest is an amazing thing. But boy, if it's working against you, God help you. You know, the osprey just hit the water right there trying to snatch something. Yeah, so anyway, y'all, I think the bite here is about done. I think it's been done, actually. I think it was done by the time we got down here, and we got that big one. What else have we caught down here besides the big one? 2 or 3 smalls. We had 3 fish up there at the bridge, the flathead and 2 blues. We come down here, we got the big blue on the heavy tackle. We've had a few other bites too on the lighter stuff, just can't get them hooked up. I don't know how many fish we ended up with today. Not as many as yesterday, not as many as I would have hoped today, that's for sure. But we got the big one and we got the flathead. But here's the thing, like I was saying, if we had just been throwing the big baits today, it's quite possible that flathead and that blue is the only fish I get. And if I edit that video down, I got 10 minutes of content, man. At best. Like you just can't make that work as a YouTuber. You can, but you ain't gonna keep your lights on doing it. This osprey, buddy, he's gonna have a smorgasbord when I dump my shad out here in a little while. If they float anyway. He's looking, buddy. He's got his eye on you. I hope he don't crap while he's up there. I got hit with crap a while back. I was riding the bike at home there. You know, Daphne the dog gets some electric bikes and stuff. I was riding the bike and I felt something wet. A bird crapped on me. If its aim had been a little better, it'd have hit me right on the head. I got crapped on my head. I remember one time I got crapped on my head. It was during berry season too. Like it was purple. Bird hit me square in the head one time. I didn't have a hat on. This is back when I was young. I still had hair. Nailed me. Which, speaking of heads too, like I don't know what I'm gonna do about my head. Because I wear a hat all the time. And so like my face is tan because I'm outside in the sun. But like my forehead up, hold on, we got a fish here on this right rod. Will he eat it? I'm just messing with it. Just messing with it. He dropped it. I seen him drop it just then. I don't know what I'm gonna do about my head. My face is tan. My forehead up to my head is not. And you know, I got my wedding coming up here in a few weeks. What the hell am I supposed to do with that? Because in the wedding, I can't wear a hat, obviously. I could maybe try, but I got a feeling it wouldn't go over well. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. The neighbor girl that lives beside me, she's got hold on, we got one on the left now. Will this one stay buttoned? He's got it. He's got it. Let's reel this one in. No, he just dropped it. Boy, we just can't keep them hooked up today. And is it because it's small fish nipping at the bait, or is it the hooks? I don't know. We've had a lot of bites, though, that haven't led to solid hookups. But my neighbor girl, she runs a tanning salon place. like they spray tan people, I think, and they got you know, them things in beds you lay in. I ain't trying to get cancer or nothing, but I'm wondering if maybe I could call her, maybe she could spray the top of my head with something and make it look like my face. I did mow her yard for her a couple times back in the spring when her lawnmowers tore up, so, you know, maybe she'll feel compelled to help me out since I helped her out in her time of need. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it though. Everything else for the wedding's pretty well done. Just at this point, just waiting. Fiance, she's actually going to get her, to pick up her dress today. She had the, what do you call it, alteration? Whatever they do, like they buy a dress and then they have to get measurements done and all that, and then people, quilt sewers, or I don't know what the word for them is, you know what I'm talking about though. Those women then fix the dress so that it's proper, you know, everything fits right. What's the word? What are them women called? They're not quilt sewers. Seamstress, is that a thing? Seamstress? It's popping in my head for some reason. Anyway, her dress is done. She's got to pick it up today. I got to still go get fitted at some point, but we're just gonna, I'm just renting something. I ain't, fiance, she bought a dress. I'm not gonna buy no suit or nothing. I'll just go rent one and do all that, but otherwise we're just waiting. Everything's pretty well on autopilot. What I can't believe though is how much things have went up. I mean, granted, everything's went up, right? I mean, the price of everything's gone through the roof. But like we're getting married in Las Vegas, and I've been to Las Vegas numerous times, and it's always been one of the cheaper places to vacation, in my opinion, because the hotels were fairly cheap. Food was cheap. There was a lot of free stuff to do. And even show tickets and stuff. You could find discounted tickets out there. Really, where they got you on the money was if you gambled. And, you know, I'm not a big gambler. I mean, well, I'll put some money in the Wheel of Fortune machine, sure, but I'm not going to play it all day long. So Vegas was always a cheap kind of vacation type place, but boy, nowadays, man, the hotel alone, boy, I mean, we're going to spend more on the hotel. We're just going out there for a weekend too. Like, we're flying out on a Friday and coming home on a Monday. So we got like 3 nights hotel. The hotel is more than what I have paid for entire vacations out there in the past. Like, it's crazy how much things went up in Las Vegas. It's crazy. So, I mean, the hotel is almost as much as it costs to get married out there. Because we got one of them wedding package deals. But, yeah. Crazy, man. I guess Las Vegas don't care, though. And people go out there, they got disposable income, so they're going to dispose of it for you. Still don't, the one thing we don't really know yet, we're not 100% decided on, is what we're going to do for people afterwards. Because we got some, this was supposed to be a small thing. And it still is, I guess, but she's got a large family, and damn near all of them are coming. And so it's like, Oh, okay, now will this one stay hooked up? Yes, no. We just can't keep them hooked up today, folks. I just don't understand it. Still hooked perfectly, no issues with the bait. Must be a small fish, maybe, I don't know. That is a bigger piece of the gizzard shad than what we've been using today. But anyway, we got all her family coming, and I got my mom and Daniel, owner of Catfish Sumo. Like that's my people that's coming. And the guy doing the ceremony, like I'm friends with him. That's it. The rest of them's all her people. But like, what are we going to do to feed these people? Or like, should we feed them? Are we expected to feed them? Could it be an optional thing, like after the wedding, like, hey, we're going to go to such and such restaurant if you want to come hang out? Like, we don't really know what to do with that. But hell, man, you go feeding 30 people at one of these Las Vegas restaurants now, as expensive as they all are. Now you're adding on a few $1,000s extra to the bill. So I don't know what we're going to do with that. That's really, I guess, the one big decision we've got left to make. Everything else is just on autopilot. We got rings here recently. And, of course, it was way more expensive for hers than mine. But, hell, I got a ceramic. I don't even think I'm going to wear mine. I don't like jewelry. And she don't care if I wear it or not. Like her dad never wore a wedding ring, so it's I guess growing up, you know, she's really close with her dad and whatnot. So him not wearing one, I don't think it made it a big deal to her. So I probably won't wear it. So I got just the ceramic. It's called a ceramic ring. It's lightweight, and it's not as thick. Like I tried some of them on there at the store, but some of them were real thick. Like, I'm not talking about like that way, but I'm talking about like, you know, sticking up off your finger. And I'm like, man, I'm not a jewelry wearer. Like, I'm just not. So I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on a ring I wasn't going to wear. So she got the ones that she wanted. She had to have two. These girls today, man, you got the engagement ring, which I spent a fortune on. But now they got to have a wedding ring that goes in front of it and a wedding ring that goes behind it. So, yeah. These women, you know how they are. They like to show the bling. But otherwise, everything's squared away with it. It's just a matter of counting down the days and figuring out if we're going to feed people or not. Y'all tell these fish to hook up when they bite like that. I want to reel one in. We've had some good takedowns that just didn't stay buttoned for whatever reason. That's the kind of thing that normally happens when you're using the bigger baits on the heavier tackle. Okay, right here. You see that? He's got that rod bent over. Does he actually have it? I'm going to just set the hook there best I can. Yep. Maybe this one will stay. No, he just come free. Oh my gosh, we're snake bitten. I've missed 5 or 6 fish in a row. But that kind of thing happens when you're using the bigger baits on the heavier tackle, sure. But these small hooks, now granted, that was one of the bigger gizzard shad, so if it is like a little 12-inch catfish, maybe it is getting part of the bait, not the hook. But still, I want to catch some dang fish, man. It's 5 or 6 in a row, y'all. I've never personally missed a fish in my life. But 5 or 6 in a row now, I've tried to let you have a turn. And you just keep on losing them. Here's something else I done last night too. You see how these rods are kind of scuffed up a little bit here? I done that intentional. These are ugly stick rods. And one of the things I noticed, they have ugly stick in black ink right here. And so every time I go to pick up a rod, they're getting free advertisement. And I didn't like that. So I got a little Dremel tool piece and I grinded that off there. I'm trying to get Catfish Sumo to make me a light tackle rod. That would be ideal. I've been telling them a long time they need some bait rods anyway. We could kind of just do double duty with a bait rod / light tackle catfish rod. I don't know if it'll work out or not for me to get it, but I got a feeling, man, you keep doing this, I think people are going to get interested in it, because it's just, if you hook into a monster, you're obviously undermatched on this tackle. But most of the fish you hook throughout the year, most of the fish that we've had bite here today, they're not monsters. They're 10 pounds and under. So if you've got fish, if the bulk of your fish that you're going to catch are under 10 pounds, why not have tackle more suited for them? And then when you do hook into a big one, and I've hooked some well over 10 pounds since I've been doing this light tackle stuff recently, but still, you just take your time with those and whatnot. But I think it has potential for more people getting into it. The catfish industry right now, the tackle industry, it's nothing but heavy rods, big heavy rods. And I have to believe there's more people out there than just me who could get into this. Now, you don't necessarily need a catfish rod or a specific, I mean, these are just ugly stick inshore rods I'm using here. Could probably use bass tackle. I'd be more hesitant of using bass tackle though, because the graphite probably gonna be more likely to snap it, especially if you're like high sticking the rod while trying to get the fish in the net or something. I used to use them bass rods for carp fishing. And I snapped one in half, basically while trying to pull a fish up on the shore. So I'd probably be hesitant to use a graphite rod for this, but these glass rods, you don't need anything fancy for it. But if I'm going to do it, then a lot of people who watch the videos are going to buy the stuff I'm using just because they're seeing me use it and have a good experience with it. So they'll be like, well, I'm going to buy a lighter tackle setup anyway, and Justin's having a good experience with this particular product, so I'll just get that one. Kind of takes out the guesswork, so it makes sense to have a Catfish Sumo brand. That way if people are going to buy it, then they go buy that one versus Ugly Stick or something. But I don't know if it's going to work out or not. Until then, I'll just keep using these because they're working just fine. I'm about ready to get out of here and go get some lunch though, folks. It's my lunchtime. It's disappointing that we didn't get more fish today, but great that we got the big one. Yesterday was a lot more action, but I think we missed our window probably down here. We should have probably come on either down here in this hole or up here on this point here to the left. We should have fished one of those two spots first thing instead of the creek mouth by the bridge. But, you know, hindsight 2020, we didn't know. I've caught a bunch of big fish over there at that bridge, Granted, I ain't fished it in forever because I ain't even fished Fort Loudon in forever, but historically speaking, when I have fished that bridge, I have caught some big, one of my biggest fish of all time came on that bridge. I believe it was 2019. I hooked an absolute monster. It was in February, but it was an absolute monster of a fish. So, I mean, it's always possible, but today just didn't pan out for the numbers. Glad we got that flathead up there, though. I've been wanting to catch the flathead. I got that big one up there in the Hoover tournament, 39.5 inches. It had some weight on it, too. I mean, it was a hefty fish. But this time of year, you start catching more flatheads, start getting them more frequently. So I was hoping we were gonna hook a flathead either yesterday or today. So I'm glad we got that one, but I wish we could have got a little bit more action to go with our big fish. This is real fishing though, man. This is, for those of you that have stuck around here with me to the end of this video, thanks. Like this is how a real fishing trip goes. It's not a highlight reel. It's not an edited down thing. The only time we've cut the camera off today was when I made the run from the bridge over to here. I wasn't going to subject you to just watching me motor along over here, but otherwise, from the time I turn the camera on, like you've seen what I do out here, for better or worse, you've seen it. We've had the good times when we're reeling in fish, and we've had some down times too. And all the stories you've been subjected to hearing from me is the same crap you would have heard if we were out here fishing together. Whatever pops in my mind, that's what comes out my mouth. But I do think here, I'm gonna get on out of here, I reckon. I'm gonna get out of here and go to the house. I kind of want a Donna's cheeseburger today, but I don't really want to take the trailer over there because parking's, oh, here we go. Oh, buddy, that one's buried. That one's buried right there. And he just, boy, we're snake bitten, man. We're snake bitten. I thought we was gonna, I mean, that felt like a good one. That one shouldn't have had no reason to not get the bait and the hook. Well, it is what it is. Either way, folks, I'm gonna skedaddle. I'm gonna either get me a Donna's cheeseburger or I'm gonna get something else, but I'm gonna get out of here. I'll make a decision this afternoon. Do I get bait and then we go catfishing tomorrow, or do I bust out the ultralight rod and we go ultralight fishing tomorrow? Don't know, but barring any emergencies or setbacks, one of those two things is happening. So anyway, thanks for coming with me today. I'll see you then.